So you hear about our boys Fresh and Fit?
Yes. Walter got a bitch pregnant.
I
I'm
know.
like, I'm not sorry. Like, now she doesn't want to get an abortion.
As if as if it wasn't already obvious that those guys are grifters.
I mean, yeah. Well, like, I mean, on it, um, like that phone call she made was kind of manipulative. I will say, because she's like, oh, like,
I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
like, you don't want to kill a baby, and like, you've been like raw dogging and like
yeah.
all
Well,
these women for 7 years and like da da da. So like I'm
it's
like she's kind of
it's
trashy, but like
it's not exactly surprising that she's messed
yeah.
up when she let herself have sex with that guy. So,
Oh yeah, for sure. Like ew. I'm like Walter, gross.
how funny that his name
Ugh.
is Walter.
Yeah,
Is he the one that used to be a former Fed, or is that the other one?
that's the other one. That's Myron.
Uh,
I just learned their names today because I was watching Brittany cover it, so I just learned their names. um. So what are we?
the
are
only
we
reason I know
doing
the
for
name of the
battles?
Myron one, and the reason that he's former, and the reason I know he's a former Fed is because during the thing with Megan the Stallion, getting shot or whatever by the other guy, they like debated Hassan on whether or not they should be, basically you should believe women, and they're like, yeah, it's good there. She's got a suspicious though, and it's like, dog, like, it's so incredibly obvious that all the evidence points to the fact that this guy shot her. Like, come on.
Yeah, and that's why that bitch went to prison. Like,
Yeah.
ugh,
Uh,
so dumb, so fucking dumb.
Anyways,
And
you're doing the Gabura final battle, or
like,
battles in general. I'm not sure if you're on the. I think you're on the final one.
okay, so we need to outfit these hoes.
Well, I need to adjust something real quick.
And I mean, and with that, and Brittany also covered the whatchamacallit, like the live stream they did, both Myron and Walter did, and Myron was like going off, I guess because some of the comments they were getting, and on their live stream, and so like Myron was like going off and like killing him, like, just going fucking psychopath, like angry mode, and she's like, man, like Myron's like standing up for his boy, like, man, they should just kiss already. And I was like, man, I want a man who like loves me as much as Myron loves Walter, like, because he was like standing up for his boy. And then he like threw a remote at a TV and broke the TV. I'm like, wow, we just love like when men have anger problems, don't we? Like, y'all need to simmer down, okay? Like, take some Xanax, bro. Take a Xanax, my dude. I mean, it's serious, but like, oh, and apparently, like, also, Brittany said they went on the iced coffee hour, Myron and Walter, which is like, I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like a financial show where like they look at their finances and stuff and see like their finances are looking like what, like where are they spending their money at.
Is that the one with
Apparently
Patrick
Walter,
Bet David, or is that a different one?
I have no idea.
Because Patrick, I think it's probably a different one. But Patrick Bet David is like one of the funniest guys without.
He's like kind of tiny, short brown hair, white guy.
Maybe I don't. That's a very generic description. I recognize Patrick Bet David by a picture, but I don't like off of the description.
I mean, I don't know. He's very generic looking. And he mostly like sits in front of a computer when he's like reviewing stuff, like a laptop.
Well, that just sounds like Ethan Klein. Ethan Klein's more bald though.
Oh, I forgot to switch. Switch. Yeah, I don't know if it's name, but apparently he's like really bad with money. So I'm like, ooh. And Myron's like, Myron's like trying to stand up for him. Like, no, he knows what he's doing. He's doing like, don't worry about it. He knows what he's doing. With his
Yeah,
finances and whatnot.
that was one thing that constantly got nailed in when Hassan was doing his coverage, was like how poor they are, or how poor Walter is specifically. And I was like, I'm just gonna take you at your word because I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and like Brittany, she like her parents are like really good with money, and like Brittany's parents like own like a business. I think her dad's an engineer, like a mechanical engineer. So yeah, which I thought was interesting. But so yeah, and anyway, so like Walter's really bad with money, so I'm like, ooh, you better hope she's not pregnant, because I mean, like, she could be lying. I mean, she could be that type of woman that's like lying about it. Who knows? For attention. And so I'm like, you better hope she's not pregnant, because you about to lose all your money in child support, okay? Because especially in Florida. I mean, because usually in those kind of states, like, the woman, usually wins and like gets custody of child and gets child support. They're always like, men never get custody. Well, mostly men never win custody is because men usually forfeit their rights, pretty much, or men usually like don't fight for full custody the majority of the time. So like, then men should like want to get full custody of their kids. Duh. Fight harder, men. Fight harder for your kids. Do more. Dumbasses. But anyways. But of course, like he's not saying much about it, which I think is probably for the best, because like, if he wants to take it to court, it's probably for the best not to say too much about it. Okay, here we go.
붉은 안개의 책이라. 붉은 안개라 불리던 시절의 나를 직접 만나니 많은 것이 떠오르더라.
자신을 직접 만날 기회는 흔치 않지.
분명 난 많은 동료를
Unless you're
지키기
Naruto.
검을 휘둘렀어. 기대에 어긋나더라도 모두를 구하지 못하더라도 말이야.
맞아. 붉은 안개는 그래.
Or Ichigo.
그리고 누군가를 지키기 위해서만 싸울 수 있는 자는 드물고.
붉은 안개 시절의 나와 엘사에서의 게브라, 그리고 지금 사서로서의 나. 똑같진 않지만 마음만은 이어져 있어.
지금이 비참한.
Oh shit, I forgot. The Lobotomy Corporation cutscenes. She had to bring up the game in order for me to remember it.
Wow, what a loser, bro. It's okay, I forgive you. I forgive you, my love.
Oh,
I mean, you're just doing your best out here. You were like working your little heart out in Beat Saber,
Yeah, I played for 3 fucking hours because you took a nap.
Like, I had everything set up. I had gotten all my chores done for the night, because I knew we were gonna play. And I took a nap. And then like I was laying in bed and I just slept.
Alright. Here we go.
Okay.
You get to be a Dami mommy.
I should be. Oh man, I'm not good at Tommy mommies.
Just deepen your voice a little bit.
I can't deepen my voice, but okay, we'll try. We'll try. Huh? Can't do it. What? Who are you?
I'm the manager.
Ah, you're the new manager?
Shit.
Sorry, you don't look anything like one. The other departments may kiss your ass while you walk around with an air of arrogance as a manager. But here, the pompous attitude will knot itself into your noose. Well, seeing that you've at least made it here, I guess you won't be a complete dead weight. I'm Gabura, head of disciplinary. We're the best department when it comes to combat out of all the teams. We have no need for cowards. You want to know what kind of person I hate the most? Those crybabies who constantly whine about abnormalities or employees being pitiful things, how they don't want to see anything die. It's the exact same as a soldier refusing to kill in the heat of the battlefield. As long as you're not one of those annoyances, then we should get along just fine.
Couldn't some abnormalities be pitiful?
Do you really think that's possible? What do you think abnormalities are? Holy entities? Poor defenseless creatures caged underground? Precious beings that make energy for us? Totally wrong. They're none of that. Abnormalities can be damaged, but never destroyed. At the very least, they seem to feel pain. Let's make their unending lives as painful as possible. Well, that task I gave you was pretty easy, don't you think? Though, a couple times you were too indecisive and passive. Next time, you should.
Deborah, about this suppression plan you sent me, don't you think the scale is a tad bit too grand?
Alright, now move along if you spat out what you needed to.
Come on, you know a similar incident happened before. I'm the head of the welfare team after all, so I just felt I should point it out.
Yeah, got it. How about you head on back to your department now and lap up that coffee you love so much?
And another thing, some of the ego in my department seems to be malfunctioning. I'm sure you had nothing to do with it, right? Although your recent suppression was strangely quick.
I'll be sure to make it up to you, but you press any further on this, those ego you value so much may be pointed at your head.
Aye, I'll be on my way then. Man, why'd I have to draw the short stick? The companions I have are either a hot-headed warmonger or some weird kids with unreadable minds.
It's been a while since I came down to the middle layer. Long time no see, Chesed. Is that how you say his name?
Chesed, Hesed,
Hesed.
whatever. Oh, are you here to see Gabura? Careful what you say, you may just end up with a hole in your head. Take care.
Is that true, Gabura? Oh, get lost, Hesed. Hode, what brings you here? So, it's about the suggestions you made involving the abnormality breach training. I feel it needs some adjusting. Go on. Well, if we were to engage in a head-on assault like you suggested, our employees would suffer heavy casualties around this section. I believe if we change the training plan like so to a more defensive stance here, the casualties would be lower. Does it seem alright? But then... Aren't we being too nice to those abnormalities with this kind of response? I'm sorry, but I don't understand. Forget it. Since you're the head of the training team, your opinion is final, right? I am, well, as long as you're willing to. Do it. Oh, thank you. See you later. Hode. Huh? Yes? You forgot your report. Ah, I could have lost it. Phew. I thought you were going to shoot me in the head like Hased said. Thanks again. Hode's too soft. If I were the head of the training team, I'd never act like her.
Gebera will be back soon. Manager, if it's alright with you, could you pass my words along? Gebera, she's strangely obsessed with suppression, wouldn't you say? Any casualty to employees during the suppression process, she entirely disregards it. Lady Angela's perfectly aware, but she conveniently turns a blind eye to it. Gebera's great at handling the abnormalities when they breach. It's as if she was born for this job. So I suppose a few extra dead employees is considered a reasonable trade-off. But as you see, as a manager, you should know that massacring abnormalities is not our only priority. Well, I don't know if Gebera will listen to you, but I'd really appreciate it if you could give it a go.
I saw Hased leaving. What nonsense did he ramble on about this time? Be honest with me. I can see everything.
Freaking one eye. Can't see half of everything. Got him.
Oh, dang. Let me warn you. Don't act as if you know everything. I've been here for a long time. I've seen much more than you have. Experiment subject 0934. We've been running a simple test before we administer the chemicals.
Ah, Gebera, the machine with a soul. A wonderful creation of Lobotomy Corporation.
What does it mean to have a soul?
It means one may truly have worth. It's the center of the faith of our it's the center of the faith our venerable Lord A believes in. I participated in this experiment because I trust him.
I don't know if I have a soul. If I'm dissembled, will there be a soul inside me?
Well, it can easily be determined just by talking with you. A soul cannot be seen, but it can be felt. I will be reborn as I confront my own soul. Mankind and the world will be changed soon. Trust in A, for he is our savior, who shall lead us all.
So, you are Miss Gebera. I heard a lot about you from Christopher. They say you have a real soul. Our venerable A really is remarkable. Don't pay attention to those who disrespect you. They do not know your true worth. Oh, meet Gilly, our daughter. She is kind and sweet, just like you. Does this child also have a soul, then? Of course. A soul is something every living creature has. It's the essence of us all, yet not known to many. This world only believes in things that can be seen with the eye. It's a sad belief that will eventually lead everyone to destruction. Miss Angela, is that a monster? That is what we call an abnormality, Gebera. How is it different from monsters? Monsters are in themselves repulsive, terrible creatures at the core and start of their existence. However, abnormalities originate from humans. Then why does that abnormality have Mr. Christopher's watch? And why does it make sounds as if it were mimicking Mr. Christopher's voice? You see, Gebera, That's because abnormalities originate from them. It's not like they materialize all of a sudden or come into existence from nowhere. Do abnormalities eat humans? Is it mimicking Mr. Christopher like that because it devoured him? I don't understand. That is a complicated thing to explain, Gabura. What's certain is that this does not happen because of someone's vice or malice, and that the shape you perceive as a monster certainly carries the will of the man you called Christopher. Excuse me, Tifra, why does the experiment log include a step where Mrs. Elizabeth is sent to chamber D101?
I'm sorry, can
Why
you
should-
read?
What? No.
Does that say Elizabeth to you?
Isabel?
Yeah.
Mrs. Isabel sent to chamber. I was like, who? You know, when I read that, I was like, who's Elizabeth? Mrs. Isabel is sent to chamber D101. Why should we place her anywhere near that horrific monster? I don't know, Gabura. You know, she isn't known for explaining the purpose of every experiment to us. I think I heard that it's to rigorously determine the loss of humanity, but I don't get what it really means. That's definitely going to end up hurting Mrs. Isabel. I should tell Miss Angela to stop it. Gabura, maybe you should just keep quiet about it. I've seen other machines question her orders. Miss Angela would reset us if we disobeyed her. Please, if you are feeling angry, I suggest that you rather embrace that anger and move on. Wouldn't that be better than to lose your memory and exist as a lifeless puppet, being a shame to the soul you got to bear? What do you think the ending to that story is? Where did Christopher's wife and his daughter Gilly disappear to? I won't ever know either. Hard to say if it's fortunate or unfortunate. The experiment was not under my responsibility. All I know is that old blanket Gilly had was the only thing to come out of that monster's chamber. Most people wouldn't even talk to us, since machines weren't worth putting their minds to. But Christopher and Isabel, they told me I was worthy of something. They looked past my exterior and saw what was inside of me, something I wasn't even aware of. Those monsters were obligated to call abnormalities, have killed many people since then. And yet those things never die. It's not fair. Why do we have to treat them nicely? Don't pay any heed to the employees in front of you. When an abnormality shows up, their lives will be the least of your worries. Since it's clear that those monsters feel pain, I'll dish out as much pain as possible. That's the only reason why I'm standing here. Don't ever patronize me again.
So vindictive.
True.
This is a female, by the way.
Oh. Huh.
A rather
Listen.
lackadaisical one, if you're able to represent that.
Describe lackadaisical.
Free-spirited. Informal.
Okay. Listen, I know Lobotomy Corporation is an important client and all, but don't you guys renew the contract too often? This place is so grimy, it's like a dungeon. I always get a bad vibe. Please hold for a moment, Rabbit Captain. We need to explain what we're doing here to the manager. Oh, he still doesn't know who I am? Go on and explain it quickly then. This must be the first time you'll participate in a meeting with an outside party manager. As was mentioned a few times prior, a company has initiated contracts with some of the other wings for sustainable development and business opportunities. It is also my job to renew those contracts with other associate wings when the moment arises. All that is needed from you is to be our token manager and present yourself in that role. I shall handle the rest of the formalities and procedures. Associate wing? What's with that boring introduction? You may feel free to provide more detailed information at a later time in private, Mio. For now, let us start the meeting. Speaking of, would you be so kind as to remove your helmet, at least for the duration of the meeting? You're kidding. The helmet is the whole identity of the rabbits. Well, fine. It's whatever. I just gotta brief the content of the contract from my end, right? I mean... Ugh, I'm sick of reading this out over and over. You can just look at the contract for the whole damn thing. Do I really have to say it one more time? As I informed you prior, it's part of the formal procedure. I myself had to specify whether or not you agree to the terms again. Still, as strict as ever, aren't you? Allow me to explain our services first. Company R will provide military support and protection from all external threats to Company L. Every branch of Lobotomy Corporation will be included under the term Company L. However, there will be certain exceptions where a branch may not be considered under the designation. Well, I say exceptions, but we are willing to let it slide unless it involves the head or the eye. Company L will provide the energy Company R needs to maintain its operation. This renewal process also includes a prerequisite that invokes a mutual and contextual agreement between Company W and Company L. And, let's see, Company L will provide all specialized ammunition utilized for the killing of abnormalities. All Rabbit team members will have their memories erased after the completion of their missions. There will be no questions or concerns raised about the peculiarity of the facility. Or the facilities or purposes of this location. And finally, I, as the captain of the Rabbit team, will deploy my team following Company R's guidelines and assume the role of command for operations taking place in this facility. That should be everything. Look through the written contract for the finer details. There have been no change in the agreement with Company W. Along with that, the renewal period will be 1 year, just as before. Yeah, sure, it's 1 year for you. But, okay then. On a side note, can you please do something about the teleporter to make the process a bit smoother? It feels like my body's being taken apart piece by piece and thrown out a window.
It's so funny having the context for those past two lines of dialogue, because like literally how often would it be for them? Because the scale is basically 10,000 years is equal to 10 years. Or 10,000 years inside the facility is equal to 10 years outside of it. So every year inside the facility is 1,000th of a year. So it's less than a day. It's like the contract would be renewed every 4 times a day.
Oh my god, that's why she's sick of reading this thing. Same girl,
Yeah.
same. I'm
Now,
pretty tired of reading this once. I feel you, babe.
now I'm sure like the technical logistics of it were not all that like well thought out when it was put together, because I don't think they intended it to be like 4 times a day.
Yeah.
But it's still very frequently. And then of course the way that they're teleported is using W Corp's technology, and W Corp's technology is the whole like, you know, transport you on an alternate dimensional axis for thousands of years to get to where you're going.
Oof, yeah.
And so when she says that their bodies are being taken apart piece by piece and thrown out a window, it's probably because that is what her and her team are doing to each other during
Yeah,
the
definitely.
teleportation. That or
Jeez.
there's some elements to how W Corp's technology works that is a little bit different from the warp train, because it is stated that the warp train's length of trip is somewhat deliberate, so that they can collude with T Corp at the same time. But anyways, that's getting really technical.
Getting into the weeds.
Yeah, but either way, it's very funny.
Ooh. Well, yes. I'm afraid you will need to ask Company W about that. It's out of our control. Gabriel, why do you have such an expression? Why are little bunnies being let out of their cages and dispatched here, of all places? Must really not know a thing if you're looking down on the rabbits. It's already been concluded that the rabbits are the most fit for the honorable task of slaughtering in this place. The rhinos would certainly smash this entire place beyond recognition. And the reindeer, with the exception of the machines that work here, would cause irreversible damage to Mr. Manager over there. Miss Angela made it explicitly clear to not hurt or affect the manager. We always pay special attention to our client's request. I'm not talking about your damn rhinos or deer. I'm saying that we can handle our own problems. We don't need any outsiders to interfere.
Lies.
What's that? What can you do with that flimsy tin body of yours, huh? Ooh, shit. You seem much weaker than us now. Can't you see that? You were like... Oh, if you were like how you once were back in the day, then maybe it'd be a different story. But look at you now. As soon as you set foot in the back streets, you'll be torn limb from limb by those sweepers. Those old days when you shredded everything before you into a red mist is now lost to the past. Things have changed. You should realize that. If I wanted to, I could tear up a tiny rabbit like you in seconds. Please, everyone. We need to focus on the topic at hand. Cabrera, our agreement with the rabbit team is to help us be prepared for the worst case scenario that will be beyond our own abilities.
Which happens not infrequently.
I'm certain that you've learned this from your experiences with previous suppressions. The combat skills of the mercenaries sent to us by Company R are on par with those of the other wings. We can handle problems on our own perfectly fine. Sorry, I'm trying to brush my hair and read at the same time. Yeah, I can prove it right here, right now, if you want. I have compiled the statistics. The amount of data is too fast for any person to calculate, with my exception, of course. The reason I continue to contract the rabbits is that the risk of involving outsiders pales to the potential of our worst case scenarios. They're worth every penny. However, the rabbits will not intervene with general suppression. Please, calm down and analyze the situation reasonably, Gabura. That should be all for renewing our contract. Gabura is the one in charge of the basic suppression process. So, if you need any advice or help regarding combat, just ask her. I'm afraid I don't have a single itty-bitty question for you. We rabbits have our own way of handling things. Nor do I have anything left to say to you filthy animals. You've done your business. How about you just bunny hop away now? Sheesh, you're being too harsh to a fellow native of the back streets. You wouldn't happen to be mad at me because I made fun of you earlier, are you? Don't act like you know me. I'm not in the mood for your stupid games, so just shut up. I get it now. You're mad because you feel we interrupt your fight, aren't you? Yeah, I don't need any help from the likes of you. Well, it's not like we're here for a greater cause or ulterior motive. We just drop by quickly when we're called and vanish without a trace. Just the same when it's time. I thought you were just like me, finding joy in the slaughter. But it turns out, you're just crazy. A complete wacko. We are the rabbits who hop around following orders to find fresh patches of grass, but you're different. You used to know who you were supposed to fight, who your enemy was. You wouldn't believe how shocked I was to find you. I never expected to see the fabled hero like, well, this. And in a drab basement, too. The hero I remember was someone who wasn't afraid of shedding blood to protect others with all her might. Please don't taint the fond memories I have of you.
All the abnormalities have broken out. Everyone here is done for.
Dead? All of them?
Probably there won't be any survivors left. Abnormalities aren't something we can handle on our own. You're in danger too, ma'am. You'd best escape now. Gebera, I'm going to take part in an experiment pretty soon. We'll probably see each other again, but just in case, I want to say one thing. Please take good care of Isabel and my little Gilly while I'm gone.
Are abnormalities able to feel human emotion when confronted with a person of close relation? What choice would they make when faced with such a situation? The experiments seem to have yielded the expected results.
Excuse me, Lady Angela, what should I do with these? There's a blanket and a few feeding bottles left.
Oh, Jesus. I have gotten all the results I need from this experiment. The owners are no more, so you can simply discard them. Hey, did you just shut down or what? I really should be going. Well, I don't think next time we meet, we'll be on such calm waters. The rabbits will leave now. I'm definitely not the hero. Never have been, and never will be. Mio is a mean girl, let me tell you.
Well, she used to look up to Gebera, so...
Yeah, and I guess they tell you never meet your heroes, huh?
What? Okay. Sorry, I meant to say she used to look up to Callie, because Gebera is a little different from Callie. Her death at the hands of the abnormality, the combined strength of the abnormalities and the arbiter and the claws, made her, and her inability to protect, more importantly, her inability to protect the people in the facility, made her very vindictive in her life as Gabura, and more lashing out in rage and wanting to end her supposed enemies or whatever, not for the sake of protecting others, but purely to satiate her self-righteous hatred at their mere existence.
Yeah.
And in fact, sacrificing other people's lives in the process.
Yeah. And of course that you shouldn't, I don't think you should be in such you shouldn't let your anger and your vindictiveness like drive you, because then, like you said, you're sacrificing other people and you hurt other people, and it's just not a good way to live. And even though she is a machine, she has a soul, you know, and that hurts her in the process as well.
Well, I think calling her a machine in this context is a little bit misleading. Because, as is thoroughly explored in Library of Ruina, they weren't actually machines. They were people with machine bodies.
Yeah.
That were crafted out of the remnants of previously living people. As opposed to Angela, who is a machine.
A little machine, yeah.
Yeah. If anything, Angela is the one with Angela is the machine with the soul.
Mm-hmm. I think though, because they're treated as, I mean, maybe this might be jumping the gun a little bit, but maybe because sometimes they're treated as machines, they might internalize that a little bit. Maybe
no, it doesn't.
Like a little bit.
I mean, it's sort of implied, I suppose, in ways in Gabura's section here, but it's not really the point, and it's not. It doesn't really matter, so to speak. The important part is that is really meant to be focused on is how previously. As Callie, as the Red Mist, she gained her strength through her will to protect others, and her courage. But that got corrupted and twisted when she got rebirthed, and she had to rediscover her courage to protect people, you might even say.
Yeah. I mean, and what it's like to lose people close to you, you know?
Yeah.
You can't do anything about it.
And in the process of doing so, does not necessarily regain her literal strength as the Red Mist, but regains what was most important about her character.
Mm-hmm. You all might have noticed, but you've never had this kind of situation before. Those monsters were supposed to be slumbering away, but now they woke up all of a sudden. There's no need to focus on what caused this. All that matters is that we solve the problem at hand. Let me add a few words before we jump into battle today. I don't need cowards in my department. You should not let complacency waver your mind when you confront the monsters. You must arm yourselves with anger and pure anger alone to crush those monstrous bastards. If you object to any of this, I suggest you transfer departments immediately. I won't squeeze out a tear or mourn over you perishing without even your name being left behind. If you want your body and mind to stay comfortable, I kindly I'll kindly drag your ass over to the pathetic welfare team so you can chicken scratch your dishonorable name on the waiting list for department transfers. There's good reason why my department has far fewer employees than any other. However, I want you to keep in mind that this also means only the best have gathered here. Meeting over. We'll talk more when the situation has been sorted out. Miss Kabura, I think your mainframe has sustained too much damage. Maybe we should suspend the suppression operation for now? Tepra is investigating the cause of this situation right now, so we should be able to figure it out pretty soon. I don't need a break. I can still fight. But in your condition... Shut up. I said I can still fight. 31 ego damaged. 17 employees dead and counting. And your body needs 5 or 6 parts replaced and repaired. It's not thrilling to look after a machine who behaves like a child in a temper tantrum. However, the Sephira of the middle layer apparently could not keep you on a leash, so here I am. You. Oh, poor little thing. Look at yourself. There's a time when I had a pinch of administration of that fire in your eyes.
Oh.
Admiration?
Yeah.
Oops. A
I
pinch
had
of
a
admiration of that fire in your eyes?
I had a pinch of administration. What the fuck?
Administration? I've been reading for a while, okay? Now let's just try. And now even that is smothered with ire.
I thought
No,
you said you were reading a book.
I am reading a book.
Yeah, I guess it's
But
not
I'm not reading it out loud.
sure, but you should still know how to pronounce the words that are in the book. So I guess you're not reading a particularly difficult book.
It reads like a
Or
book from 2016, and it's about incest. So, do you think it's a particularly difficult book?
I don't know, but ire is not a particularly uncommon word.
With ire and madness. It is such a shame that the both of us are locked up in this dungeon. However, I did not bend over or break my back at the very least. I imagine we will no longer have to face off with our lives at stake and be at each other's throats like the past. But I will say this for you, pitiful thing. Stare directly into the object of your anger. The edge of a blade that has lost its way will be unfathomably blunt, where there will be nothing but the void to slash, no matter how much the blade is sharpened. I hope you don't think I get some kind of satisfaction out of this. Seeing my once earnest rival now looking as pathetic as a dog. I have decency, you know. Cutting, slashing, throttling, trampling, destroying. Sometimes I remember the faces of those who showed me true kindness. If I could just get the smallest taste of revenge upon those monsters who stole their smiles, their happiness, their futures. My sword and spear would never stop their flurry. I see people dying in my blurred vision. They're always torn apart by monsters. Those dying faces differ from time to time. Sometimes they're strangers, sometimes ones I dearly miss. And sometimes I see Christopher or Miss Isabel. Whoever they were, I'm filled with agony for them. Looking at my paralyzed leg and my severed arm, I scream and curse my weak body in a fit of rage. Then I black out. I'm so sick of this darkness. It is impossible to fight with such low manpower. I cannot approve your proposal. Please reconsider. Why should I approve an operation that will so clearly end in failure? If manpower is the issue, I can make up for it. If they are too weak, I'll make up for that too. There's nothing in the rules against a Sephira utilizing ego too. If you so wish, then I won't stop you. A familiar grip, the right weight, in practiced form. This feeling is so distant that it pulls me right back onto the right path, away from straying to wander, just like a road sign. I completely lose track of time when I wield my weapons. It was kind of funny to see Tempera and Hesset with bewildered faces when they witnessed me return from battle covered in blood. No matter how hard I stab and break those monsters, they will recover sooner or later. Some of them wail and others scream. In battle, I also fracture and break some of my components, but those are soon replaced and repaired. What a perfect little hell just for me.
This is
Missing your
Bina.
arm? Yeah,
When
I figured the coat.
Yeah, when she was an arbiter, yeah. It's
Missing your arm?
this fucking silhouette always gets me because it looks kind of like a helmet, but I'm pretty sure it's actually just her hair and just the silhouette
Yeah,
of her
her hair
hair. Because
really
it's like,
high.
well, it's more so because the one side of her hair drops down in the way that it does.
Yeah, like her bangs.
Yeah. Anyways.
Here it is. Think of it as a respectful gesture to a fellow warrior to leave you with one of your arms intact. I doubt she expected this. The tragedy she would bring here, caused by the oh-so-great ideology of hers. I don't know if it will ease your pain. This happens quite often, more often than you may think. This is no less common than, say, a little seedling getting trampled to death. I must admit that you're quite the tough sprout, however. You even managed to thwart my plans a little. Thwart my plans a little. I never expected you would kill 2 claws, stop all the monsters, and finally come to face me and give me a fair fight. By the way, about those monsters. I cannot deny that they are astonishing things. Even after plowing through a hallway of your friends, they never softened nor tired. It seems you aren't much different from them, now that I ponder on it. Alright then. If you can still manage to hold a weapon and stand up with your own 2 feet, then come at me. I will not be broken. If I can't get rid of those damn monsters, I'll destroy the whole company myself instead. Then finally, my aimless wrath can crumble with it and rest beneath the earth forever. That's you.
Among the many fixers of the back streets, she was one of the few who could go toe-to-toe with the head and the claw. She was called the Red Mist among the Backstreet's denizens. That was a name she earned protecting us from all kinds of threats and maneuvers of the outside. Michelle's betrayal led the eye to the den we hid in, then the head mercilessly threw their claws at us. Instead of dealing with the Red Mist directly, the ever-cunning head unleashed the unstable abnormalities to slaughter us. The abnormalities were out of control, tearing apart our comrades who screamed in agony. All the while, the claws sniffed out their prey and snatched it. The whole situation was beyond what she could handle by herself, but she gave it everything she had to protect us. She lost an eye, one of her arms was severed, and she had numerous deep scars all over her body she could no longer heal from. Yet, she didn't give up. And eventually, her efforts saved Bee and I from death. Collect her corpse. The cadaver demonstrated the horrendous, unbearable situation she went through. After a long time had passed, her eyes opened again. However, her anger that had lost its focus dragged her down, deep to the bottom. We had to reboot her many, many times. I feel like I had something to say, but I forgot what. Oh yeah, interesting gameplay quirk for her, by the way, is so her boss fight is like literally you fight her in the game, but you can kind of skirt around confronting her directly by releasing abnormalities in the facility, because they actually deal increased damage to her.
Dang, that's kind of fucked up though.
Yeah, I mean, you still have to avoid them yourself, but like if you have some good abnormalities in your facility, you can kind of like cheese them to go into whatever room she's in and have them fight her instead.
Dang. Why are you looking at me like that? You look like a thief just turned up on your doorstep. Sorry, I have a cough drop in my mouth.
I think this is Carmen.
Okay. I honestly didn't expect to see you here. Or well, to be exact, I knew you would come here eventually, but I didn't expect it would be this soon. You had such a sour expression when we talked, but you actually liked me, didn't you? What the hell? You know, I don't have any true contact with the lives of the people from the backstreets, nor the pain they go through. Perhaps I have been living a more affluent yet cowardly life compared to them. From that, I've always felt so ashamed of everything, even to be graced by a small ray of sunshine. It wasn't always all that rough. I understand that it must have been a hard decision to come here, so thank you. Sooner or later, we will have to deal with unexpected hardships here. There are just too many problems to try and solve in peaceful ways. The real reason I chose to speak to you out of all the other syndicates or fixers that day was actually because of something rather trivial. What was it? If we're being honest, I thought I could barter with you for cheaper prices. Dang. Looks like it was a mistake to come here. I'll be going. Please, hear me out. I saw you pay for the funeral expenses of an old lady whom you didn't even know. I truly admired your kindness. I even look forward to seeing it myself. Corpses can cause an entire alleyway to be infested with vermin if they aren't buried properly. Besides, I just wanted to repay her for treating me to meals a couple of times. Understand, I've never been close to being a kind person my entire life. Why do you keep smiling, damn it? Just happy to be great at discerning the best of the best.
Carmen could back up what she said. She truly did have a sharp eye for people. The tale of how she built her reputation could fill a chronicle of history books, and then some. The only problem was that Carmen was too wrapped up with taking care of others. She never had a moment to take good care of herself. We were on such a delightful upturn back then, it's almost cruel to bring those memories back up. We were flying towards a limitless world that never seemed to end.
By the way, who's the guy glaring at me? Oh, that's A. He's just always had a serious look on his face. I beg of you, please protect the people here. I know I can trust you with this. From the past to the present, abnormalities have wandered the facility, killing numerous people. Despite my reputation, there were too many things that I just couldn't save. When I think about it, my entire life was far from one of justice. You probably wouldn't know much about the backstreets, seeing as you stayed in the nest your whole life. Those streets were a place where there was no need for justice, morality, or any other pedestals like those. If you have never been there before, you won't understand how agonizing and miserable the stories of people who live there are. How they are robbed by the chance to live a legitimate life, how unfair and unjust life is there. All I learned there was how to survive this miserable existence. But Carmen told me she wouldn't give up on anyone, even people like us. She also told us that the weak, who had willing spirits, could someday possess enough power to cut off the head. It was such an absurd and ridiculous thing to say. Why couldn't I just keep on with how life was before? I'm not smart enough for all those complicated calculations. I can't even write a logical or coherent report. The only thing I was able to do was draw my sword against those who opposed us. All my life, I only used my skills for my own survival. But that day, I had never felt more proud to be able to protect others. However, I wasn't able to protect anybody in the end. That cut me deeply. I was filled with anger and lost my mind for it.
Ultimately, you did manage to protect someone.
True. You and that other person survived thanks to me. I thought I had lost Carmen's will forever. But after all's said and done, I had to have carried that will all the way here somehow, right? I feel like I can catch a bit of breath now. When we first reawakened in metal, we could feel the exact moment our final breath stopped, lodged into us like glass shards. Stupidly, I woke up with only rage left in my heart for the abnormalities. You miss her, right? I do too. I don't think she'll ever come back. We'll never get to see her shameless smile ever again, the one that made even people like me follow her. Or the light that radiated from her, glowing so much that one couldn't hold all of it with both hands. But her will and promise will always remain the same, even after an eternity had passed. It will be a place where she can live on, even after death. If you happen to remember it, please tell me. Tell me the gift she left behind for us.
I actually never really paid attention to the music in Lobotomy Corporation before. Um, but some of those orchestral tracks were like really good.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I was fucking like shocked. All right, let's run this back. Let's run this one back.
Oh, a lot of reading. I had to put in a dry mouth lozenger.
붉은 안개의 지들아. 붉은 안개라 불리던 시절의 나를 직접 만나니 많은 것이 떠오르더라.
자신을 직접 만날 기회는 흔치 않지.
분명 난
You don't get the opportunity to confront yourself too often. He says in a place where like the entire point is that everybody confronts themselves, basically.
Literally. Roland, if you haven't learned by now.
I mean, like, ostensibly, canonically, he's seen this, what, like, 4 or 5 times by now?
My man's a little slow. Okay.
And he himself has confronted himself already before. And he's about to do it again.
기대에 어긋나더라도 모두를 구하지 못하더라도 말이야.
맞아. 붉은 안개는 그래왔지. 그리고 누군가를 지키기 위해서만 싸울 수 있는 자는 드물고.
붉은 안개 시절의 나와 엘사에서의 게브라, 그리고 지금 사서로서의 나. 똑같진 않지만 마음만은 이어져 있어.
지금이 비참하다고 생각해?
비참하지는 않아. 하지만 우습지. 모두를 지키지 못하고 지금은 이런 모습이니까. 그래도 분명 내가 할 수 있는 최선을 다했어.
널 되살려 이런 모습으로 만든 엔젤라를 원망하지는 않아?
I mean, as long as she doesn't have any qualms about how hard she tried, you know? As long as you can say with certainty that you gave it your all, what more can you really ask for?
엔젤라는 네가 목숨 걸고 지키려고 한 것들을 앗아갔는데도?
엔젤라도 헤매고 있는 거겠지. 엔젤라가 그동안 겪은 걸 생각한다면 무작정 비난할 수 없는 게 솔직한 심정이야. 그렇게 그 녀석이 가려는 길의 끝을 직접 보고 판단하고 싶어. 아마 당장 분노하고 쏟아내봤자 결과는 똑같을 거야. 분노와 복수의 되물림이지.
제대로 지키지도 못했으면서 어떻게 개운하게 털어낼 수 있는 거야? 늘 지키고 빼앗기고 이용당하는 삶이었잖아.
Oh,
화나고
Roland's starting to get pissed.
모두를 지켜내지는
Roland,
못했지만
I need you to fucking take a
지켜낼
break,
수
okay?
있는 자들은 지켰거든.
He's like, how can you be so calm about the fact that you didn't save people? Or how can you let go so easily? I couldn't save my wife, and I can't get over it.
My dude.
난 너와 달리 내 곁에 있는 한 사람조차 못 지켰어.
World's like, I can't even protect one person.
이제 아무것도
Fuck.
남지 않았다고. 남은 것이 있다면 기회만 노리고 있는 무능하고 비열한 사람이려나. 어느새 아집덩어리가 돼버렸어. 그저 공허한 삶을 번지르한 껍데기로 애써 포장하고
I'm nothing
있는
more than a
삶이다.
hollow lie.
Yeah.
그날 내 세계가 다시 깨졌다.
어?
뒤돌아보기만 하는 날의 시작이었다. 눈에 보이는 것이 없었다. 한치라도 의심가는 것들은 손에 닿는 대로 베어갔다. 조금이라도 허튼 짓거리하면 몸의 모든 구멍에서 피가 철철 나오게 해줄게. 당장 풀어.
He's looking for his wife's killer.
Yes.
납치한 사람으로 톱니바퀴를 만든 건 실수였어. 그래도 알잖아. 넘쳐나는 게 사람이어서.
Does
Oh,
that
wrong
sound
answer, bro.
familiar? No, I'd just like to point out, making gears from people, does that sound familiar?
That does sound familiar.
그래서 결국 넌 아무것도 모른다고.
그래. 그래도 이렇게 빌게. 나에게는 아직 먹여 살려야 하는
He even has a
딸이
daughter.
있어.
저 뒤에 놓인 톱니들도 가족이 있겠지.
거의 다 완성되었어. 내 아들을 살려낼 수 있다고. 이곳에 있는 인형들은 전부 처음부터 죽어 있다.
Making puppets out of people. Does that sound familiar?
다는 거군.
그래. 그 일은 나와는 관계없는 사건이었어. 부디 넘어가 줄 수 없는 건가? 제발. 내 아들이 저기서 날 부르고 있다고.
저딴 건 아들도 뭣도 아니야.
젠장, 완전히 눈 뒤집힌 놈이잖아. 중지로는 만족하지 못하는 거냐?
The Rumanos cartel. That also, though, that is also familiar, though a lot less so. It was more
I don't
offhandedly
remember that.
mentioned. In the Thumb, when they had the meeting among all the subsidiary groups, it was briefly mentioned that the Rumanos cartel was missing from the meeting, or something to the effect of still recuperating from their losses.
Oh, that was Roland?
Yes. And they're all
Baddie.
And they're also offhandedly mentioning here that he fucked up the middle.
What a baddie, bro. What a baddie. Roland's a baddie.
It's very entertaining that the middle has shown up in Limbus Company, but Roland's sort of taking his vengeance out on the middle head was not brought up. And so when the middle showed up in the game, people were going on about how, especially since, so the way that the middle works is that there's supposedly like a family, and if you commit any wrongs against any one of their members, the wrong is written down in a book of like sins with
that's right.
punishments associated with them that are to be dished out on the wrongdoers. So it was entertaining when the middle was brought up in Limbus Company, and people were talking about how like an entire book of sins is taken up by what Roland did to them.
For real though.
Because he like freaking annihilated like an entire segment of the middle in some
Fucking people up over here, man.
part of the city. Yeah.
높은 놈들을 탈면 뭐라도 나올 줄 알았더니 한심하게 형제니 뭐니 심파나 팔고 있다고.
Yeah, who cares about
그리고
brotherhood?
너희도 똑같지. 정말
알아.
아는 게 하나 없단 말이야? 거짓말이라도 좋으니까 혀 좀 놀려봐.
I mean, to the credit of the series, though, there could be an explanation that mask he's wearing, it actually suppresses like identification, basically. There's something along those lines. So it could be like waggled off as like, oh, he killed all those members of the middle, but it's not like they know it was Roland. But it would be it's a bit silly of an explanation. It's probably just something that they like don't even care about at this point in Limbus Company, or maybe at all anymore.
목적을 잃은 화풀이에 맞춰줄 필요 없다. 더 입 열지 말도록 죽여라. 그 편이 마음 편하니.
소원대로.
롤랑, 이렇게 미쳐 날뛰는 건 너답지 않아. 마음은 알겠지만
돼지기 싫으면 가까이 오지 마, 스톨퍼. 말리려는 순간 너도 죽여버릴 거야.
I don't remember him.
아무리 봐도 이 녀석.
It's because he hasn't shown up before.
이건 그저
Okay.
광기야, 롤랑.
둥지 안으로 들어갈 수만 있었어도.
Is he gonna kill him?
He's a former friend and or associate of Roland. He'll be brought up again in I think Bina, maybe you said, but it basically used to belong to an office that he used to belong to the same office as Astolfo, and if it and as might be notable from his name, Astolfo is also a character in the Rolando, Immemorado, and Furioso,
Oh, okay.
or Orlando, Immemorado, and Furioso. I always get the last name. Also, a character in the Fate series, who is a femboy.
Can't forget that.
Yeah, never forget Fate Astolfo, because everybody is obsessively sexualizing of Astolfo to like a weird degree.
Can't forget about the twinks and the femboys.
Yeah, don't forget about the twinks and the. I wonder. This is a complete digression, but I wonder if the reason why is because when Fate Apocrypha was first airing, it was like really sort of playing up the femininity of Astolfo, and it wasn't evident what Astolfo's gender was in like the early part of the series, until they was like finally stated like somewhere down the line. And I wonder if that's the reason why people started becoming like weirdly obsessed with him, because not only is he a twink, but like they were all baited into thinking he was female at first.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I cannot confirm though. I was not like in anime communities or Twitter at the time Fate Apocrypha aired, and also Fate Apocrypha kind of mid.
It was very mid. I watched. I couldn't even really get into it. I watched like half it and was like, I'm over it.
It's
Never
all
mind, wasted my time.
it's all spectacle, no substance.
Yeah.
And the spectacle is pretty solid, which is why I think I gave it a 7. But just there's no substance to it, which when you compare it to Fate Zero or the UFO table adaptations of the Stay Night, specifically the UFO table adaptations, because I haven't seen the first Stay Night, and so I don't know how good that is. But
it's mid. It's midi. That's fine.
That's what I've heard. But
it's on Tubi.
Yeah, I would pirate it. Let's be real. But when you compare Apocrypha to the UFO Table Fate series, it's just so vapid in comparison.
Yeah, man, it's so. I need to rewatch it. It's time to rewatch it. It's so fucking good, bro.
Yeah,
it's so fucking good. And I need a good cry, you know.
Anyways, Roland loves killing people.
너무 많이 죽였어. 쓰레기 녀석들이긴 해도 이 정도로 죽여버리면 뭐가 뭔지 알 수 없게 된다고. 적어도 정식으로.
And Roland acts like dee I'm not psycho.
I still got more people to kill, Astolfo. Get the fuck out of my way.
Before you're next.
그리고 내 앞은 기억할 수도 없을 정도로 많은 사람의 시체가 산처럼 쌓였다. 과거로 가고자 할수록 언덕은 더 높아져 산이 되었고 앞길이 보이지 않게 되었다. 아스톨포의 말이 맞았다. 이제 뭐가 뭔지 알 수 없어졌다. 그 사람의 말도 맞았다.
Couldn't even tell what you were fighting for.
Yeah.
Not even fighting for. Couldn't even tell what you were looking for.
내가 정말 과거 사건의 실마리를 찾아 복수하고 싶은 건가? 아니면 이 분노를 쏟아낼 그릇이 필요했던 것뿐인가?
I think you hear my dog.
애초에 이런 식으로 복수하면 그 앞에는 뭐가 있지? 더는 그런 게 중요치 않았다. 그런 걸 생각할 여유 따위 없었다.
Just like Gabra, for real.
지키지 못했다. 나 때문에, 사람들 때문에, 이 도시 때문에 지켜야 할 걸 지키지 못한 사람에게는 무엇이 남는가? 껍데기만이 남는다. 아니,
Sometimes things are just out of our hands, you know?
너도 마찬가지일 거야.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
애써 침착한 척하는 거겠지. 내 전부를 앗아간 이 도시가 저주스럽고 지켜내지 못한 내가 원망스러워. 이딴 세상에서 겸허하게 자신으로서 있을 수는 없을 거라고.
롤랑, 뜨겁게 녹아내릴 듯한 분노는 차갑게 펴려야 해. 그럴 수 있게 될 거야.
It's gonna take like an hour.
Oh, I mean, maybe based on how long the previous ones have taken, it's probably going to be more than an hour. Let's be real.
Okay.
But as before, most of the phases should work similarly, if not the same as how they initially worked. This one might be a little different though, because I don't know how necessary having Roland kill the wolf will be, or how necessary having the Crimson Scar kill the wolf will be. And even if you kill the wolf as opposed to the Crimson Scar, it'll be a lot more tolerable for you to kill the Crimson Scar this time around because you're a lot stronger. Oh, never mind. He has to kill the wolf. Did it say anything in the wolf about, like, it being able to die to you? I don't think that it fails you if you kill the wolf, though.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
Yeah. So either it says even more in the Crimson Scar's description, or it'll just stick at 1 health until it kills the wolf.
The battle progresses next phase. Missionary finishes off the wolf. The battle is lost if he dies before the wolf does. Okay. 50% HP or lower. Gain 1 strength. On the station, you striking with an every 2 scenes. Okay.
Say anything else? Oop. The
Oh,
rage meter is filled. If a librarian lands a killing blow on the wall, here it is. Enters in a straight rage state, then recovers 50% of max HP and fully recovers stagger resist. Gain +4 strength each scene. Yeah, I mean, it's still gonna. So you still want him to kill the wolf, but it should be even if you don't, it should be a little bit easier for you to kill him in the event that he doesn't kill the wolf.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh god, how do I make it go away? Away. So I basically got to stop it from like targeting
Yeah, that's the whole thing with the rage meter, and then also you generate emotion coins a lot easier if you do the clashes instead. It's blah blah blah. You're gonna spend a whole shitload of time doing this because you don't remember what any of your cards do you?
no. Nope, sure don't.
Fantastic.
Love you.
Oh boy.
Love you lots. You're my favorite.
We're gonna be chilling.
Love you lots and
I
lots.
shouldn't have already read my manga for today, man. Or my webcomics.
You don't have any fun facts to read
Should have
off?
saved it. Sorry, what?
You don't have any manga to read?
No.
Or fun facts to read off?
Oh, I did forget about those. Yeah, we have plenty. I'll get there in a second. I actually do have one chapter of something to read, unless I was offline when I read it before.
I wonder if I should use one of these cards. I wonder if I should use this one, because that defensive die is really high. We'll see. Okay, we'll do that. We'll place. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, sounds great. Good job. Good job. I have to encourage myself. Good job. he's the only one. Well, no. I think it's 3-die one, but like, not 4. Bamboo Kim doesn't have anything like that. I don't think. No, he doesn't. It's not gonna do very good though. Oh well. Oh, we got passives. That's right. This one. Kalo doesn't have a lot of passives though.
They all
Does
have
he?
passives. What the fuck do you mean?
No, but like, you know, +1, +1, +1. I can't remember which one.
So-
no, he does.
One of Kalo's passives is every third die gets +1 power until the third
Yeah.
scene, at which point every die gets plus power. And he might have one other one that gives plus power.
Yeah, every third plus power.
And he also, after you use 6 unique combat pages, he'll get another plus power. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm talking to myself. That's what I meant. Okay? Golly. Good golly, Miss Molly.
Yeah, Kalo and Esther, I think it's the one.
The other one? That's bro.
Yeah. Yeah, the index bro. I think it's Esther. Kalo and Esther, their loadouts are a bit more geared towards being a bit of a slow burn, I guess is or ramping up than before. Before, and this is still the case for Bamboo Headed Kim, your loadouts would be just like straight up plus power on certain types of attacks and things. And your deck would correspondingly match. But the loadouts for your characters are starting to become more sort of generic in the types of die that they are using, and consequently the passives that you're getting, in part because these passives are also just like generally better, are give you power later into the fight than immediate. They don't give you the power immediately anymore. That was long-winded. Sorry.
Just a little bit. That's fine. You're beautiful, so it's okay. We'll let it slide just this once. But next time, we're just gonna tell you to shut up, okay? I'm just kidding. I would never tell you to shut up. Okay, well maybe I would, but not right now, okay? Maybe I should just use this one. Yeah. We'll do that. And then... yeah. And that'll be a one-sided attack on the bro's end over here. That's a big defensive die. On hit, recover 10 HP. Cool. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get fast. That defensive die though. Multi-slash, what's that?
It's a good restoration page.
Okay, what is that then?
You both draw a page and restore light. It's not good at clashing though.
Yeah, we're not clashing.
Okay, it's double checking.
We're not. That's automatically gonna clash. So bloody. So maybe I should just. Wait, where did I have it? Shit, I don't remember where I had it. Fuck me. I think I had it over here, actually. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, that's automatically gonna clash too. Sure. Okay, that's everybody.
Blammo! Blammo! Some gunshot sound effects. Blammo!
You go, you blammo, you blammo.
Yeah.
Get him, you get him.
Yeah. Anyways, I finished reading the chapter of the thing, so it's time for some fun facts. Oh. Okay. Oh, first a quote. It's been my experience that you can nearly always enjoy things if you make up your mind firmly that you will. L.M. Montgomery, Anne of Green Gables. You know, he's not wrong.
That is just so beautiful. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, well, I don't know about beautiful, but
I'm being sarcastic.
yeah. I figured, but like since I like just kind of subconsciously offhandedly responded with an affirmation, I was like, hold on a second, that's not right. Anyways.
Just checking.
The it there is truth to that. That has been my experience with anime, at least, as the thing that I watch, where it's like,
Oh, Mass Attack.
yes, where depending on your set of expectations, now you can let yourself get hit to give him strength, which is a very funny strategy. If you see the on hit effect, gain 1 strength for every target hit, so you can give him +5 strength if you just let yourself get hit. I don't necessarily recommend it, but it is a funny thing that you can do.
Disgusting. Like.
Anyways, it has been my experience.
So these have to add up to 10 out of 10. Is that right?
No, that's a mass individual. So actually, you might not have a choice in whether or not you get hit, because a lot.
1328, right?
But it's not the first
No,
die on the page.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Well,
you
my boy's
might,
gonna get strength.
yeah, you might not have much of a choice in being hit by the attack actually, since it's an individual with a 10.
Well, Gabura, you know.
Gabura can avoid getting hit. This is true. You probably don't want to have her clash against anything with Onrush though, since it's only 1 die.
Yeah. Can I help you, dog? I'm trying to play my game. My dog. 1 night.
So anyways, it has been my experience with anime at least, where depending on the set of expectations you have when heading into watching a show, greatly affects your experience in watching the show. If you expect something to be shit and you watch it with that expectation, you can have a lot of fun with it being shit. But if you have expectation, you can either be pleasantly surprised in that it's really good, or even when it turns out to be shit like you expected, you can still have like a good time watching it because you're like, oh, I expected it to be shit, I can laugh at it. But if you go into something expecting it to be good, there's a limitation to how much it can impress you because you're already like, well, it should be good. And then if it fails to meet those expectations, then it upsets you because you're like, why isn't this good?
I see your point.
Yeah. This is, you could even say this is something that I experienced with the live action One Piece, where I went in with effectively neutral expectations. I didn't expect it to be particularly good or particularly bad, and it didn't even meet those expectations, certainly not when held up to scrutiny, and consequently, it just became more and more upsetting. But
It just became more sadder.
But on the other end of the coin, there's a show like Redo of Healer. I did not go into Redo of Healer expecting it to be good, and I also didn't go into it expecting to enjoy it. However, when I went to watch it, I found it endlessly hilarious because of not just the elements of it which are bad, which are effectively the storytelling elements, but also the parts of it which were surprisingly good and high effort were the sex scenes, and it's like, wow. But also, like, just the stuff that happens is so ridiculous that because I didn't have any expectations for it to be any good, I could just enjoy the absurdity of what the series was to watch.
Yeah, I think I see your point.
Yeah. So part of what is helpful about the seasonal anime preview is not just in determining what is worth watching, but also in establishing a set of expectations you can have for a particular series, so that you can maximize your enjoyment with it. Technically, you can maximize your enjoyment with any series if you go into everything if you expect everything to be dog shit, but like that's not healthy for different reasons. That's just cynical.
I'm kind of more like a fussy crybaby, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do this. If I'm not, I want to do it, I don't want to do it, and I'm gonna cry about it the whole time. Which is not a good attitude to have, and I will admit, it's not a good attitude to have. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. But it's definitely youngest child attitude. So yeah, don't do that. Even though you're the youngest child and don't have that attitude.
Yes.
But I do find the youngest children definitely have that attitude.
What was I gonna say?
Majority of the time.
I actually do have an example from this season too, which I don't remember the full title of the series, but it's something to the effect of Life with My Elf Bride, or whatever, which is the one about some mage dude who sees an
Oh, yeah,
elf
we
on
thought that was
sale
gonna
at
be,
a,
like,
at a
comfy,
slave
right?
auction, and falls in love with her at first sight. And yeah, my opinion at the time was something to the effect of, well, this is pretty stupid. What?
Oh, I thought we were like, oh, like comfy, nice.
Well, yeah, there's that too. That was also said. We're just like, this is probably a comfy show that's pleasant to watch, but at the same time, I was also like, this is going to be mid at best. It just even within the sphere of comfy shows, it just is not one that sounds particularly interesting and does not look particularly interesting visually. And I go to watch the show, and I mean, it was decently accurate of an assessment, but consequently, I also found myself enjoying the show a little bit more than I initially expected to, because I didn't really have any expectations for it to be any good in the first place. So when it turned out to be like halfway decent, I was like, oh, this is a nice watch. I enjoy this.
I don't know if I really have any cards that are good against this one. Fuck,
I mean,
really can't use.
you
Don't
don't
higher. So should I just use like? I mean, 'cause look at these defensive die. I don't know if I'm gonna get.
you
past
don't have to enforce
them.
a
So should I just
clash.
use-
Not to mention that defense die actually might go away as a consequence of the mass attack. Because that mass attack is targeting that die, right? What? No.
No, it's this one.
Hey, hold on. What is it targeting?
It's this one.
Yeah,
like
it is
slash
targeting
this
that
one.
one. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
it's
just only
it's
this one alone.
it's because this one is targeting the mass attack. Right. That's
Yeah.
why the arrows confuse me.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if I should just use like an unlock or something.
I'm actually surprised that it didn't cause Roland to redirect it, because he's faster than that die. So I guess in this battle, like the two characters cannot redirect, and it's only you who can redirect.
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting. But yeah, you don't have to do a clash by any means. Because like Roland has health too. Like he can take a few attacks.
Yeah. Okay, because I was just gonna definitely leave this one alone, this mass attack clash.
Yeah.
So, like,
And-
I'm just gonna leave that one alone.
And in the event that you accidentally kill the wolf, it'll be useful to have had Roland take some hits. Anyways.
Yeah. Okay. I forgot I had this card. What the fuck? Okay.
So, it's truly been a long time since we last streamed this, because our next fact is from Monday, March 25th.
Should I play anything on this mass attack?
It's only an individual, so it is an individual, right? Didn't lie to
Yeah,
you
it's
this entire time.
individual.
Okay, yeah. So, in the event that it outrolls a die, it'll only destroy the first one. So,
Oh. So, okay.
pages with more than one die will still be able to get their other attacks, their other die off. It'll just be the first one that gets killed.
Okay. Then maybe we should still use this because unused adlock 2.
Which actually means you can outclash the one that you were concerned about before. Specifically, Somber Persecution. Or Procuration. Somber Procuration would probably... Oh, wait, but that's a 1-speed die. Never mind, you can't redirect.
Yeah.
Oopsies.
Yeah.
The arrow was in the way. I thought it was a 4.
No,
Wah wah.
that's sad. That's why we're like. I guess we'll still use it though for something.
So did you know, for years, couples, mainly tourists, visited the Pont des Arts. There we go. Fuck, French. For years, couples, mainly tourists, visited the Pont des Arts in Paris to write their names on padlocks, hook them onto the bridge, and throw the keys into the Seine. But they had to be taken down because almost 1 million locks accumulated in 5 years, adding 45 tons of weight to that collapsed part of the bridge in 2014.
Oh yeah, that's pretty well known.
Yeah.
That's
45,
like so well known. I thought everybody knew that.
45 tons of locks, though. This is a pretty absurd number.
I wonder how many of those couples actually stay together.
A fucking fraction of them.
Well,
Oh, I remember I had a thought regarding our discussion on that matter and why I'd still say is like an unhealthy expectation. I had like an eloquent way of putting it, but I forgot what it was. Fuck!
yeah, I only found one study from the University of Texas. But I couldn't find any other. I couldn't find the actual like research paper. I only found like one article about like talking about it. Found one article discussing it, and then like a psychologist was saying that usually the first big strain in a marriage is within the first 7 years of the marriage. And that usually, like, he'll get, like, couples, and usually he'll be like, oh, what was your wedding day like? And at the wedding day, like, if couples usually are like, oh, our wedding day was so great, it was so beautiful, like, da-da-da-ba-da-ba-ba. And he's like, okay, we're talking positively about the wedding day, like, okay, we can work with that, like, we can work on the marriage. And then, like, usually if they were like, oh my god, like, this was terrible, and this was awful, like, it rained, and, like, nothing was right, everything was wrong with the wedding, then he's like, oh, then it might be a little hard to fix a marriage or something like that. That was the only thing I could find on it. I couldn't find any other results.
I mean, makes sense.
So if you could find it, that'd be great.
I mean, if you want to learn where I was, what I was talking about on the biological aspect, then, like I mentioned before, it was a lecture on, I think, specifically sexuality and sex, by Stanford professor Robert Sapolsky. I think he's a doctor. Where that's what he talked about, and
yeah, it was like somebody in neurology.
Yeah, he's some kind of like neuropsychologist or something like that, neuroscientist / psychologist. And he is a very well regarded professor and somebody who is very thoroughly studied these subjects. So I am willing to take his word when he says it's a very well established scientific fact.
Well, guy, one bro.
He's one bro.
When I mean bro, I'm not saying he's like.
I'm saying this is a subject matter expert, and I'm willing to believe a subject matter expert on such topics. So when he says it's a very well studied fact, when he says the neuroscience is very well studied in regards to the neurochemical developments that people have in response to he did end up hitting everybody, so funny, within relationships, I'm willing to take him at his word that this is like the case. In any case, the
Oh, I guess we are gonna have to fight Roland.
Oh
wait, no, you're not.
Oh it's a little sketchy whether or not whether or not Roland will be able to kill the wolf this turn, but he does have +6 strength. You took a lot of fucking
Vampirism,
damage.
I don't think we like that one.
No, actually, vampirism I do like. I like the role of the wolf on Gabura before I like vampirism. But the reason I like vampirism is that one of Gabura's cards, level / inflicts bleed. So vampirism.
Is that the only one
I mean,
No.
yes, but like, it's not that hard to get bleed on people. So vampirism is generally useful to have. It won't proc like always, but it's generally useful to have. But yeah, it might be worthwhile. You're gonna want to look at the targeting, just to make sure there's no mass attacks or anything going on. But it might be worth. Okay, there is a mass attack going on. Well, it is what it is. So you're gonna want to defend against that. But you might not want to defend against it by targeting the wolf. You might want to defend against it by targeting Roland. And to just let Roland hit the wolf, because he's probably going to kill it this turn.
Okay.
And this one is a summation, so you don't... so you don't really have to worry about outrolling it. You just have to play like a halfway decent card.
Oh, he's playing a mass. Yeah, Roland's doing a mass attack.
Oh, Roland's doing a mass attack too? Oh, fuck Roland, man. What the fuck is his mass attack? Oh, no, he isn't. No, that's just because... No, it's just a lot of arrows because the wolf is targeting it with his mass attack and the other 3 die.
Jeez.
So it just looks like there's a lot of arrows.
It just looks like there's a lot happening.
So I think, but in any case, the thing I had to say on the matter was effectively that having the expectation that you should have that your partnership should be a lifelong one will inevitably lead to many people holding on to relationships which are lost causes, which I just don't think is I think it is more unhealthy to establish a social custom where that will be the results than it is to have one than it is to establish a social custom where it is okay for people to move between partners throughout their lives in a healthy manner.
I mean, I just think we just need to pick healthy partners from like the very beginning.
Well, yes, but like that's but the issue is that itself is another unreasonable expectation. It's not just a matter of we don't do that. You could talk about how like it would be nice if everybody in the world was as like sort of, I guess you could say, self-conscious and enlightened as we might think ourselves to be in how we might choose our partners and establish relationships. But at the same time, literally everybody is fallible, and I know that even I was certainly not as good of a person when I was younger. I didn't have as like I was a lot more selfish and less solidified as a person, and less like empathetic and charitable and kind. And there are still those tendencies within me. But I know that I certainly had the mindset of the partner that I choose is going to be one which I desire to stick with throughout my life, and that didn't work out. So everybody is fallible, regardless of how I guess strong-ish of a person you might think yourself to be. So it's just not a healthy expectation to have as a society. Like, I don't necessarily disagree that marriages should be, or partnerships should be approached with the thought of I guess we can work it out, like overcoming each other's overcoming flaws and whatnot. But again, I don't think it's a healthy expectation to enforce that it should be thought of as like a sort of permanent, I suppose, from the get-go.
Okay, so do we just not play anything on these other ones?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Roland
you can play some unlocks and see what happens. It's something I will say about unlock as the card is that if you don't really have a good idea of something to play on other die for your characters, unlock is always like a solid choice. It's like you can always just default to unlock. I still wouldn't necessarily recommend targeting the wolf, though. Because if the wolf isn't killed by Roland in his attacks, oh, it's definitely going to be killed by you. I mean, the nice thing about having this as the first phase of the fight is that if you lose or something goes poorly, then it's a quick retry. It's not like you've gotten to like the 4th phase and all of a sudden everything is fucking going to shit. It's like, oh, I have to do the whole fight over again. Oh.
Yeah, for real, because I would cry.
Oh damn, you went before Roland. Also, oh, you redirected his attack. You dummy.
Oops.
I told you to attack Roland, but I didn't tell you to redirect his attacks. I actually told you not to redirect his attacks. Well, I suppose something like that might have been an inevitable outcome. Now that I think about like the way that Gabura works with the Infinity Die and the fact that it was targeted by the mass attack, yada yada.
Oh. I was just listening to you, okay?
Yeah, I mean, I think something. If I thought about it like long and deep enough, I think the solution was to let Gabura get hit by the wolf's mass attack.
Don't you have health color too?
Maybe, I don't remember. But otherwise something would have inevitably gone wrong. On a personal level, in regards to your abnormality pages, not a fan of Fear of Water, not a fan of Blood.
So probably this one.
Either that or Vengeance, both of them work.
What does Vengeance do? At the start of the scene, gain strength based on the amount of damage taken previously. 1 strength for 5 damage up to 2.
Yeah. Vengeance is good. I actually don't. The only reason I don't usually take Vengeance is actually probably because I don't usually get the option. Because usually I get more positive emotion coins.
Honor dice, gain damage. What is one?
Oh, okay, that counted. Whew! The wolf died to bleed during an attack on Roland. I thought it was going to have you fight Roland as a consequence, but I guess not.
Okay, good.
So you have 4 people, not because one of them died. This is because if you notice, you still have 5 health bars in the bottom left. This is because if you remember this fight, the wolf like eats somebody, and then you beat up the wolf, and he regurgitates them if you stagger him. Something to that effect. However, if you don't stagger him this scene, the librarian will die. So hit him a lot.
Have I consumed and adjusted? Also
Yeah, if you basically if you lose 2 librarians, the goal is to not let that happen.
Me. We'll try. On Clash, okay, 1 straight next scene.
Yeah, the goal is also to not let him win clashes. So in that respect, it's a good thing that ranged die go first, and also that Gabura has a very fast attack. No, because all of the pages are counter die, it doesn't matter. Yeah, redirecting and targeting doesn't matter.
What do you mean redirecting and targeting?
So he is not attacking you. He's not rolling any die against you. He is only rolling counter die are only rolled in retaliation to attacks against the person with the counter die. So he is effectively getting a queue of 6 counter die in this scene. And so it doesn't... You redirecting his attacks and you targeting any specific die does not matter in this scene because he only has counter die. You don't have to like redirect or... Oh, I'm just telling you. You don't have to worry about where the arrows are pointing, is basically the crux of what I'm saying. For this scene, don't pay attention to the arrows. They don't matter at all.
Oh, so I can just bing.
Yes. You don't... The only thing to be concerned about is that you want the die that will be rolling the biggest numbers to go first. Basically. For Tuesday, March 26th, did you know, in 2013, scientists discovered the world's smallest vertebrae, a new species called Paedophrin amauensis, aka miniature frogs, that are the size of M&Ms.
The size of M&Ms?
They have like...
That's
They have like 1 vertebrae in their spine.
1 vertebrae? That is so teeny tiny.
I mean, that was a joke. I don't actually know how many vertebrae they have in their spine, but when you're that size, like you might as well only have 1.
I mean, yeah. Teeny tiny. How much is discard? 4. Okay, we got 4. 0+.
It's time for the spelling bee. How do you spell the word secretary?
SECERATRY, something like that.
Something like...
Probably too many E's and R's, but I don't know, something like that.
Sorry, run that again. Try again. Secretary.
That's one word I have trouble with, okay? Fuck, why does it have to be that word?
I'm sure there's a lot of words you have trouble with. There's a lot of words I have trouble with.
SEC. I think I said ER, but that's... Is it RE? SEC. Retary.
Correct.
God.
Yeah, no,
I suck at spelling.
it was not ER. That wasn't even one of the options.
I just flipped those.
Did you know for March the 27th, in 2014, ex-Beatle George Harrison's memorial tree was done in by an infestation of actual beetles?
Oh, that sucks.
I can't believe insects would defile George Harrison's grave like that.
Oh well.
There's,
Oh well.
this is silly. This is stupid. This is something you're definitely not gonna get. I don't get it. I'm not even sure why it would be expected that anyone would get this. The number 8,549,176,320 is a unique number. What is so special about it? Actually, I can think of something, but I don't know. I don't understand why that would be like the...
Wait, the fuck? Repeat that?
The number 8,549,176,320 is a unique number. What is so special about it?
I don't fucking know. I don't know. It's a fucking number. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I guess that's...
It's pretty? I don't know.
So, something that I noticed about it is that it contains each of the digits once. But you have to go a step further, because it is what makes it what makes it a unique number is that it is the only number with all of the digits in alphabetical order.
Oh god. Wow, that's so special. Fuck me, bro.
What a brain teaser. Blammo! Get shot. Get boomed. You're booming him. Oh, you boomed him so hard.
Give me back my bro. Give me back my bro. Give her to me. Give him back. Rolling. Put him out.
You didn't. Oh, you were 4 away. You're dead. Your boy's dead. You failed to stagger him. You shouldn't have played so many unlocks. You should have played another card. You needed to do literally one more attack.
I hate my life. Okay.
Well, you're gonna do a fuckload of damage to him this scene. So now the unfortunate part is that you have to do the rest of the fight a man down. And you have what, like 3 more phases after this?
Oh, and that one was a good bro, man.
Yeah, that was Chun.
Couldn't
You lost
take-
Chun.
You couldn't take the other fuck. How did it redirect?
Because he was targeting you.
Oh. Okay. I'm like retarded. Okay.
The nice thing is that effectively, as soon as you hit him once, at most twice, he'll be staggered. So you don't really have to worry all that much about clashing.
I'm gonna clash with you here in a minute. I'm just kidding.
Fun facts, did you know from March the 28th, Benjamin Franklin wrote a scientific essay about farts. Because he thought European
No.
academic societies were pretentious, he responded to a call for scientific papers with his essay, Fart Proudly, which suggested research be done to improve the odor of human flatulence. Well, that's fucking stupid.
He was fussy, so he did that.
Yeah, I mean, sure, academic societies are pretentious, but, like, scientific papers are also, like, a good thing for people to be doing and do. So, I think that's an L for Benjamin Franklin. frankly.
Are you messing with the mouse?
That was Ignatius.
Ignatius, give me back my mouse, bro. Okay, okay. Thank you, Ignatius. Appreciate it. I know you're trying to help out, Ignatius, but as long as you don't start the battle, I guess, you know.
What is the longest bone in the human body?
The longest bone in the human body.
Yeah,
Your femur?
correct.
Oh, I'm so smart. The only reason I know that was my mom told me the other day.
For Friday, March the 29th, some even call it a Good Friday. Oh, he's... Alright, Ignatius, you're getting off of my desk.
Ignatius, you're gonna get spanking.
Dude, it's really funny. As soon as I yeeted him off my desk, he went over to go eat his food. So, like, why was he even on my desk?
He was hoping to
he came up here to get in my face so that I could give him food, and then I threw him basically at his food, and he's like, "Oh, food! It was here already. Why did I bother?"
He's a little senile. Okay, give him a break.
Oh my god.
He's old. Give him a break.
So, did you know for Friday, March 29th, which some call even Good Friday, it's a particularly good Friday. Legend has it that in Montana, about 40 years ago, two skiers walked into a bar and asked some old-timers to ski with them. One replied, "The day you put skis on this bar stool is the day I'll go skiing with you." And so began the annual bar ski races, where you nail a bar stool to some skis, get really drunk, and try to make it down the hill without spiffing it.
That's beautiful.
Okay. That's just... the things drunk people do. It's just
And where is this at again?
Montana. That's just so incredibly stupid.
Yeah, I've been to Montana as a kid. I don't remember what we did there.
Sounds like something my brother would do.
Oh, really?
Yeah. According to Rover.com, here are the most popular dog names in 2021. For boys, it is Max, then Charlie, then Milo, then Buddy, then Rocky. For girls, it is Bella, Luna, Lucy, Daisy, and Zoe.
Interesting.
Zoe 101.
Oh, did I not? Oh, oops. That one's not gonna be...
Did you know for March the 30th and 31st, one of which just so happens to have been Easter? When Arlie Smith, a Costco employee for over 20 years, was diagnosed with terminal bone cancer and given 2 years to live, his customers collected $2,500, showed up as Arlie's Angels, and gave him and his wife tickets for a 4-night getaway in Laguna Beach, California. Damn, bro. That was one cheap-ass getaway.
Yeah.
4 days for only $2,500? Sheesh. Also, it's just the state of the economy, man. We're a fucking Costco employee for 20 years. Fun fact, on average, 16 million jelly beans are consumed by Americans at Easter. I myself consumed a bunch of jelly beans the other day.
I did not.
Not on Easter, though. Did you know on April the 1st, for some countries it is Easter Monday, for the based countries it is April Fool's Day?
Yep.
The farther back in time your daydream reaches, the more you forget about what you were supposed to be doing. Is that why I forget about things so often?
The farther back your daytime, your daydream reaches?
Yeah, when you daydream about things, the farther back in time those things are, the more you forget about what you were supposed to be doing right now.
So you're saying you daydream a lot?
Yes. I'm absent-minded, very much so. Yeah, I don't care to anagram saintliness. It's fucking stupid. For Tuesday, April 2nd, did you know decorator crabs wear accessories? Their shells are covered in Velcro-like hairs that let them stick found objects to their backs so they can masquerade. They use coral, seaweed, and other pieces of ocean life to blend into the background. And here is some meditation advice. If you struggle to stay still while meditating, try a walking meditation. Find a peaceful place to walk and pay close attention to the sights and sounds around you until your feet and legs start hurting.
Weird. Okay. Let's ask Dr.
I
K.
added that
will
last part
actually help.
myself, by the way.
Fuck off.
Anyways, what did you say?
I said let's ask Dr. K about that.
Yes. I mean, it's true, you know. Fine, walk instead of sit down if you're struggling to stay still. But it's the oh, that's right. He can only go down to 150 health. But you can't do that for like an hour. Which is meditation. Some meditation sessions can be quite long. Ooh, you could do something fun. I don't necessarily recommend it. But Mountain of Corpses is pretty fun.
Oh, where like if you kill, like you can kill all your
yeah, you can kill all your I mean, since you already lost one, maybe you wanna try it out, have some fun.
No,
it does make it easier to gain emotion levels because you only have to worry about one guy.
No, it's too sad.
What do you mean sad? It doesn't matter if it's sad if it's effective.
It's too sad.
They just get revived anyways. That is frankly a pathetic reason to not engage in a very legitimate gameplay strategy.
Isn't it too early though?
Early? No. You would only have one other option to select it, which is after your collective emotion level rises once more. And you might not get it again because you might get too many positive emotion coins. So have some fun with it. Why not? The very unfortunate thing about it is that you don't gain speed die, which has the potential to be problematic, but should be fine.
I'm sad now. Oh, it God damn it! How did it transform?
But don't forget your ego pages, by the way. He transformed because it's part of his face. Don't forget about your ego pages when you run out of pages to use in your hand.
That's right. How's this one do?
Roll the die 5 times when processing damage. Basically, for clash purposes, it still counts as 1 die, but for damage purposes, it is several.
I'm probably gonna need a lot to use ego pages, though, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. You're only going to be able to use 2 cards this turn: Spear and either Onrush or Great Slash Vertical.
Mm-hmm.
Great Slash Vertical would be the better choice because one of its side effects is delete a separate page on a random speed die of the target.
It should probably be this one, huh? Okay, and then we can can use one. No, that's it. Well, we can use one more.
Yes,
that other one was like
have
one
sphere.
light.
It costs
Yeah,
0.
that's one light.
One thing to
Yeah,
also keep in mind that you have exactly 1 counter die. So, against the first one-sided attack that he makes against you, you will be able to defend against that with the counter die. My hint in that regard is basic. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. Never mind. For April the 3rd, did you know when kangaroos are threatened by a predator, they lead their attacker into the water and attempt to drown them?
Yep.
On this day in history, on April 3rd, 1860, the Pony Express began service for the first time. 2 teams departed at the same time, one from St. Joseph, Missouri, and the other from Sacramento, California. While there was initially much excitement over the Pony Express, only a year later the service ended after the arrival of the telegraph line. Oh. Well, that didn't work the way I expected it to. Huh. Interesting. Either Instincts or Rutted Welts would be good. Instincts will help keep you alive to an extent. With the amount of health regeneration that you have, though, it might not be explicitly necessary.
Yeah. Let's do this one then. I make this go away. Okay, there we go.
You can manifest your ego this turn. Let's go. No, it's one of the normal cards in hand.
Oh, this one.
Yes, it's the card that's literally titled Manifest Ego.
I was like, wait, how do I do that again?
For April the 4th, did you know Amazon used to offer its warehouse employees up to $5,000 to quit their jobs and never return? In 2014, they launched... Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I can explain that in a moment. In 2014, they launched Pay to Quit in order to make workers evaluate whether or not they really want to work there, but the program was suspended due to labor shortages. The reason why they did that is to cut costs. Because as you keep employees, you have to give them raises versus fresh employees that you can pay standard, in the case of Amazon, effectively minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
And the type of work that they're doing, warehouse work, is not exactly terribly complicated or requires a lot of training necessarily. So Amazon Amazon offering employees pay to quit is so that they don't have to, so that they can keep refurbishing employees, cycling through the labor pool, and never have to pay any individual in the labor pool too much money. However, as was noted, this does lead to problems. The problems, it sounds like the problems were somewhat immediate in this case, but the problems are not necessarily immediate. In that Amazon's practices of cycling through the labor pool have resulted in them effectively having no more labor, or having very few people people in the population that have not worked for Amazon before. And so they're running out of labor as a consequence of their deliberate practices of cycling through labor. I wouldn't necessarily recommend using that right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's kind of sucky of Amazon, but Amazon is kind of sucky, so...
Well, of course. What do you expect?
What do you expect, you know? Damn.
Ineffective resistances, and you're still doing a fuckload of damage. There's something screwy going on with like his passive abilities, but it's honestly like a who cares kind of moment. Something I recommend is actually not playing Focus Spirit this round, because you don't need to, and you need more cards in hand. So
Yeah.
it's worth holding off on just throwing your weight around so that you don't have a card shortage. Well, I mean, I guess you can use Focus Spirit as long as you save either one or the other between Focus Spirit and Level Slash. He's in his like eat phase or something, but he doesn't have anyone to eat. It's funny.
It's just us. Oh,
I wonder if I should make that adjustment.
yeah, I think this is like the highest one. Okay.
I also find it very funny that you used the slowest speed die first.
What do you mean?
Well, it's just you
The
roll.
Massimation.
Oh,
I don't have to clash.
Yeah, you don't have to clash against it. You do have to deal with it, though. That is true. I didn't realize it was a mass attack.
Yeah, stuck my dick, bitch.
Yeah.
In the nicest way possible, you know?
Actually,
Yeah.
so I actually recommend avoiding Uncontrollable Instinct because it works a little differently than I expected. It will roll the die 5 times, just irregardless. So you're gonna want to try and kill him before he uses that. Kill or stagger.
How did I do that?
Gotta gack him with the spear. Gack, gack, gack. Riddle me this. I'm light as a feather, yet the strongest person can't hold me for 5 minutes. What am I?
What?
I'm light as a feather, yet the strongest person can't hold me for 5 minutes. What am I? You know what my answer is? Existential dread. Depression.
Oh my suicidal ideation.
Yes, suicidal ideation. It's just completely immaterial things.
True though.
Technically, they're electrochemical signals in the brain. Therefore, they do have mass. Therefore, they are material things. No, as I said, my recommendation is not to clash against it, because it works differently than I thought it did. In that,
Oh yeah, it rolls just automatically.
yeah, it just rolls anyways.
It just does what it wants.
Yeah. Do what you want, because a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
You're a pirate.
Arr. Plus, the plus side of that is that your counter die completely handled it. Yeah.
Suck my dick, bitch.
We can discuss whether or not we'll forgive the atrocity after we finish this. Huh. Oh, I forgot to read the dialogue for the first phase too.
Okay, hold on. In search of orb. Use combat pages other than. Oh, this is the. Wait,
The yeah, the Screechy boy.
and vomit.
Yeah, as he takes damage, he'll spawn little corpse things. He'll try to kill those corpse things to regain HP. And you have to kill him.
Attacking him, right?
And,
I think we're like last one. I think.
And you have to kill him multiple times in order to win the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, it's only a summation. Easy. A suggestion that I have is always use the spears that you have in hand. Because the spears let you draw cards.
Oh.
The way that her green cards work is that if you deal enough damage with them, the effect is procs. And the effect is lower the cost of all other cards of that same type in your deck. And one other thing. The level slashes restore light, and the spears draw pages.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wait, what did I do? Oh, fucked up.
I mean, it's not that much fuck up. Actually, it probably would have been a fuck up. What did I just say?
Use the spears? Yeah, but there's another one. I was gonna use the spear here.
Use both of the spears, not just one of them.
Use the right one? Okay.
Besides, another thing that's nice about the Mountain of Corpses is that isn't it so much easier to decide what you're gonna do now that you only have to worry about 4 speed die?
Yeah, that is true.
It's actually especially. I actually didn't really realize this about her realization, but it's actually especially useful in her realization because you have like single combatants, as opposed to some other fights like invitations where you can have like multiple people on the field and then you're like trying to deal with everyone with only 4 speed die.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, always use your spears and be cognizant of the fact that you have a counter die. And the reason I'm bringing this up is to reiterate, you want to make sure you have pages in hand. And so if you only use pages in hand to deal with his attacks, then you're going to like stop having pages in hand, basically.
Yeah, so at least leave like 1. Okay.
Yeah, so something you can do is leave off leave off an attack this turn and let your counter die deal with one of his attacks instead. Don't let it be absorbed though.
Yeah. Deal 8 dagger damage. Jesus.
Because target's current die cannot be recycled is like a big FU to the counter die strategy.
I guess I could use Focus Spirit, maybe.
Especially since it'll fucking immobilize you, and then it's like, oh, you're just dead. Anyways, the thing that's light as a feather, but people can't hold for 5 minutes is breath.
Oh, wow. That's not, anything we said?
You know, it's not suicidal ideation.
Bummer.
For Friday the 5th, did you know if your flash drive or USB plug doesn't have a symbol to indicate which way is up, look for the side with a seam on the metal conductor. On the metal connector. It has a line across only one side, which should always be facing down, horizontal ports for horizontal ports, or left for vertical ports. I think this is something that anybody with like half a brain that uses technology already knows. Like, or maybe doesn't like know, but sort of intuitively understands that like you can look at the USB plug to know which side is up or down. The issue with that though is that like it's kind of inconvenient to look at the plug and then like you forget which side is up and down when you start being unable to look at it when you're like plugging it in. You can't look at the metal connector when when it's being plugged in. So a situation like this is what I thought he might have started out with having these guys on the field, which is the main reason I said to hold off on it. But a situation like this is why I recommended holding off on great/horizontal, because now that there's more than one guy on the field, although I still think you should hold off for this turn because he's gonna get staggered. You're gonna deal fuckload of damage to him, and then he's gonna have like 6 of these guys in the field. 4 I think is actually the max, but it's beside the point. Great/horizontal is effective for when there's a bunch of these guys on the field. Fun fact, have you ever wondered why we raise a toast to someone? This expression originated with the ancient Romans, who used to drop pieces of bread into their wine. This supposedly improved the flavor of the wine. I thought it improved the flavor of the bread.
Probably because the bread has yeast, you know. So.
Yeah, but I don't think fermentation occurs that quickly.
Yeah, but I would assume maybe that's why. That's my sister. The Romans did it. She's probably asleep, but did you know?
I would say that this is probably a misreading of them doing it, of why they did it. My guess is that they did it more so because having the soaked bread tasted better than unsoaked bread. I expect it was for the.
And my sister's a sommelier, so I'm gonna ask her. We will find out the truth.
Yeah, but I expect it to be more so for the bread than for the wine. And then finally, for today, April the 6th, in 1968, the Apollo 8 astronauts brought Silly Putty with them because they could not... Wait, what? Sorry. Fucking reading. In 1968, the Apollo 8 astronauts brought Silly Putty with them because they could not only use it to tack down tools in zero gravity, but it also doubled as a cure for boredom. The way that it used the word "not" confused me for a little while. I had to like read it to myself.
I guess I don't want it to absorb this little guy, so we'll just pop it.
Yes.
Spear, maybe. Oh, have I already used a spear? I think I've used a spear. Yeah. No.
That doesn't mean you shouldn't use the second spear.
Hey, I know. I'm talking to myself. Can you let me talk to myself, bro?
No.
We're fighting. You're gonna get a beating.
Okay, so now we're up to date on our daily facts. Facts.
Yeah, you know, like my yeah, my migraines are better, but my tummy hurts.
Where did that come from?
Oh no, it was just a fun fact. It was just not a fun fact. I don't know why I said fun fact. It's just like because you know, I'm like, oh, migraines, owie. And wait, am I hitting that? Yes, I'm hitting right.
It boomed.
Yeah.
You just boomed that, man. Now you have to boom him a couple more times. Right / horizontal. Let's go.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Now we use the thingy.
Just
trigger.
Annihilation. Because it's a mass attack, my recommendation of the mass attacks, as always, is put it on your slowest speed die. Yeah.
Guess I need. Oh, he's doing a mass individual.
Yeah.
Will this cancel it out?
No.
So just.
Yeah. Unfortunately, mass attacks cannot cancel each other out. It sometimes leads to very sad outcomes.
Boo. Yeah, so you know, I've been like getting migraines, but now my migraines get better. But now I'm like, tummy hurts, my tummy. So, yeah. What should I use? Maybe level slash.
It doesn't particularly matter, but it is worth noting that level slash, damage-wise, will do the least, because he resists slash damage, like, heavily.
But that's all I got, right?
You have a spear.
Yeah, but look how little.
Yeah, okay, but then you look at how many buffs you have. Let me count them out for you. You have 3 strength. You have
forget about those.
+2 from your red mist power up, which will stack up even higher as you progress throughout this fight. You have +2 from this.
I forget about
Um,
those. They're up there for a reason, you know.
You have +1 from fervor. Yes. Okay, that's all of them. So if we count them out, that's 1, 3, 5, 8.
Oh my god.
It is 5 for defensive die and 8 for, or actually, it's 4 for defensive die and 8 for offensive die.
If it's not in my immediate line of sight, it just whoop.
Yeah. It is generally speaking, unless the numbers are like wildly different from each other, you really don't have to worry about winning clashes. I also wouldn't even worry about the attacks that the mush piles are using against you, because you're just gonna cancel them out with the Great Slash.
I figured as much.
Plus, I think they still have the passive ability that hurts you as you attack them. Yeah. So they're not exactly fun to attack either. They deal damage to you and inflict fragile when you hit them. So they honestly might be best off left ignored, except for depending on how much damage you do with this Great Slash, you might want to onrush them next turn. Oh, or you just straight up kill them. Just straight up kill them in one shot. You know, that works too.
Good. All right.
I didn't think you were gonna do that much damage.
Boom. Blammo.
Yeah, Plamo. You just freaking boomed them. Dude. Mountain of Corpses buffed Gabura just destroys this phase of the fight.
Fucking got him.
She's cooking! She's cooking!
She didn't come to play, okay? It's like, she's like, look, I don't care about the rest of these fucks. Like, I came to win.
Yeah. Now you're also now close to having your entire deck in hand as well.
This one again.
It restores light, which
Well, we
you
haven't
didn't-
played.
yeah, you one of the things Mountain of Corpses does is help restore light every turn. So you like almost, and your deck does not cost a lot to use.
Yeah. That's true.
So you really don't have to worry about light restoration.
Dang, Roland's getting like
Bodied.
one
Is
more
your-
time.
Is your Great Slash refurbished? It might not be.
Yeah.
It's only been a couple of turns.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have it back. Still, it's not like it's a big deal to let one of the one of the corpse piles to hit you. It's still probably a better idea to just focus down Roland. Or, actually, using a focus spirit against one of them wouldn't be that bad, because then you're only hitting them once. And actually, yeah, you probably
Two at a
do.
time.
Yeah, you probably do want to use a focus spirit against one of them, and then you can let your counter die handle the other one. I still find it funny that you use the slowest speed die first.
Because it's like 2 memory.
Like, it makes sense in other situations. Like, when I find that the opponents all have really high speed values, something that I'll often do is target back or use their own targeting, like clash back and start from the slowest speed die. But this situation is that Gabura is unlikely to roll slower speed than anybody else. So it's like, why even bother using her slower speed die? And this is actually, in Gabura's case, I will say it is actually a smart habit to get into, to actually start with her faster speed die. But we're not quite at the reason why yet. You might have your great split back. Yeah. So you can just use this turn and it'll probably take them all out.
Okay, so yeah.
All right.
Next.
It won't do good to force consolation on him too much. I actually completely forgot about the vampire phase. I thought you were on the final phase.
I told you. I was like, wait.
The vampire totally forgettable. Wait, were you going to tell me to save the great split horizontal? You should have said something.
Yeah. Your character has less than 5 blood, gain strength. Here, my page.
It's basically sophistry about like what he's gonna do on any particular turn. It's like, who cares? You know?
Okay, so he doesn't particularly do like any crazy shit.
No. No! Oh!
Shit!
Dummy.
Dummy!
You're...
Dummy!
Well, thankfully they're not really doing any damage to you, but there is... Yeah, they didn't really do any damage, thankfully. So you got away with it, but there is there is a very minor side effect to Gabura's ego manifested, which is that if you don't do enough damage on any particular turn, you'll take stagger damage. So you actually very narrowly avoided being staggered for a turn, which would have been, you know, very bad.
Oopsie.
Because of your limited speed die, look out for attacks that are like all defense die, so that you don't have to worry about clashing against.
Okay.
Such as the one that you just like targeted and clashed against.
Oh, it's an evade. That's right.
Yes, yeah.
It's a
Look
switch.
Yeah, look out for those so that you can avoid taking as much damage as possible. You like rolled really good speeds last turn too. You had 3 in infinite die and an 11.
LOL.
Ha 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 ha! I think I showed you that before, right? Final Fantasy X.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. The cost so creepy. Uncomfortable.
Now I'm just remembering memes from voice acting in video games, and it's like, no, this isn't happening. There's no reason to go on. What? What am I fighting for?
Oh yeah, you showed me that one too.
And then there's also, I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light.
Classic.
Oh, such classics.
Okay, so these two little flecks are just gonna hit me, which is okay.
On the plus side, at least you have Mind Hauler. If you didn't have Mind Hauler, you probably would have already been staggered by now. But, that's a little bit of a side point. So, you're now in a position where you, if you don't have horizontal still, where you can make decent use of onrush. But you have great split horizontal, so like, why would you use onrush? Like, you know, just fuck them all up.
That's invade. Like, huh? The arrows were confusing me. My arrows were confusing me.
Hold on, what's half his health? It's probably like 175 or 150. HP falls 50% or lower. It does not go below 50% before this. You might want to restrain yourself a little bit on attacks you're using. Just because you're gonna otherwise waste cards. Like, one spear is probably good enough.
Well, yeah, because this one's an evade, so I wasn't gonna do anything there. And then yeah, okay.
Donked. Yeah. Those 0 damage is exactly why I told you to only play one card. Now you can donk them all the way down to 0 health.
Oh, 0 summation.
Yeah. You can easily you can easily outroll that with onrush, apparently.
I don't know why I was like, my brain like lost function for a second.
See, you daydream too. Yeah, I mean, it does happen sometimes when you're, not just in this video game, but like in any video game, where like you go to think about what move you're going to make, and then after a certain point, it's like you're thinking about the act of thinking about what move you're going to make, and you just stun locked on making any decision at all because you just like stopped thinking about the actual decision. It happens. It happens.
Just flatline.
Yeah.
Inflict 1 feeble next year.
Yeah,
What's a
but
feeble?
minus power on offensive die.
Well,
But
should
it's
be fine, right?
yeah, but you think he's gonna win that clash?
Sorry,
when you have enough bonus power on your attacks to outroll those die on their own.
Oops, this. I guess we'll play another spear.
I love spear, especially since he doesn't resist spear. He takes normal damage from pierce attacks. He actually high rolled that attack. and you still took no damage from it. Shonk! Ooh, so close. You were so close to ending it that round.
Roland looks kind of hot as a vampire. He doesn't look like your average grade 9 fixer, you know?
Oh my
He's a
god.
vampire.
You really only have to play one attack.
Wait, is that...
Yeah.
Wait.
Donk. Donk. Just... Oh. Alright, here's the final phase. Maybe I can understand a tiny fraction of you, Roland. This is the abnormality Nothing There, whose ego is labeled mimicry.
Every 2 scenes, use combat page where shell on a random assistant.
You don't have any assistant librarians. Congratulations.
If HP reaches 0, morphs into second form at the start of the next scene. Okay.
Yes, I believe it will have 3 forms in this fight. If not, it will only have 2. But it'll probably have 3.
It looks like a deer.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that.
That's
Nothing,
probably
I've shown you Nothing There before. It looks more like a demented, chimera than anything else.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Ew.
that's Nothing There.
Gross. Oh
It's a-
yeah, I think I remember.
Yeah, it's a really obnoxious abnormality to suppress in Lobotomy Corporation because it just kills you. It's
Just mean.
yeah, it's immune to one of the 4 different types of damage that you can deal. It regenerates, and it just deals fuckloads of damage. And you can't even get it. And you can't even get away with attacking it from a distance either, because one of the attacks that it does in its attack cycles, it hits like the entire floor or the entire room that is in one direction. So something that happens with Nothing There is actually you'll call in the rabbits to deal with him, and they'll actually fail to kill him.
Dang, I thought the rabbits were like the fucking best or some shit. You know?
The rabbits are an essential and very useful tool to handling very dangerous situations in your facility. But when it comes to Nothing There, the strategy with the rabbits is basically see how much damage they deal to him, and then like very quickly pick up where they left off, because he'll be on low health. So the story of Nothing There. An abnormality whose appearance resembles a human, but cannot and should not be human. It periodically devours employees and wears their shell. The skeleton and organs are misplaced during the process, so it takes a bizarre form. The abnormality does have a tongue, however. It has no knowledge of speech, and as such cannot talk. Yeah, wear shell. Love you. I love you.
Instantly kill target.
Yes.
But it's only 812.
Well, yeah, it's only 812 with the situation you currently have. It's still pretty obnoxious if you don't do anything. I mean, it's easier to deal with than the wolf's stupid ability of don't stagger it when you have to do 250 damage against it in one fucking round.
Yeah, that's true.
It is manageable, but still awful if you fail to outclash it. The abnormality does have a tongue, however, it has no knowledge of speech and as such cannot talk. It can only make meaningless sounds. There is no telling what is inside its shell, but its skin continuously wears down, so there is a need to change and maintain the outer layer. It is insensible to pain. It may break its own bones or cut itself up to escape through a small crevice. Bit by bit, we discovered that this abnormality may be evolving. It demonstrates behavior similar to the character of the person who used to be its shell. It even makes attempts to equate itself with human beings. When it escapes, it wears the skin of the person it killed and mimics them. Then, without any sign or forewarning, it reveals its true second form. In its true second form, its resemblance is much similar to that of humanity in comparison to its earlier form. The new form is confirmed to possess bipedalism, properly aligned organs, and the addition of greater physical strength. All the employees are afraid of this form, as they should be. A warning of something. If it has been confirmed that it has escaped and stood on 2 feet, there is only one thing you can do. Straighten up your posture, gather your hands neatly, and pray to whatever you believe in and observe the situation as it unfolds. Excerpt from the counseling log. Just like how we observe abnormalities as employees, nothing there observes us. Then it puts on the shell of an employee and thinks of itself as the employee that just died. The sight of that thing eating one of us is horrifying beyond words. Just trying to think about it might drive me mad. Heading to its containment to check the state of its shell is a toil on your mind too. Imagine that a colleague of yours who you chatted with just a few days ago is now sitting in that room, neck snapped, guts exposed, walking on all fours, drooling like a beast. Omitted. That's not all. When I was still a new employee, no one else was willing to enter its containment unit, so I was forced to go work with it. It looked even worse than it does now.
Ew.
Yeah, it's an egg now. It was in the shape of a horribly deformed human. What's worse, it tried to mimic humans, doing stuff like looking into a mirror, mumbling to itself, or trying to fix its skeletal structure. It's as if it was trying to mimic us. Who knows, it might get good enough to casually walk among us one day.
Okay, so it's 3 forms.
Yes, basically try to kill it, and you'll have a slightly easier time with the final form. Note its weaknesses. It is weak to slash damage, resistant to blunt, and slash is ineffective. So the spears are going to be your greatest tool at least attempting to reduce the amount of health it has. Those are also all counter die, so you don't really have to worry about clashes as well. Not that it necessarily matters.
Oh, where's the spirit? And it's resistant to slash.
Yeah, ineffective, in fact, which I believe means quarter damage.
I don't have any more spears.
No. You have a focused spirit, that does blunt. And it's good for maintaining strength as well. All right, let's see how boomed he gets. The clashes don't matter; it's all counter die. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been able to actually take out this form. It's kind of really obnoxious in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You're about to see, yeah, all the way, yeah. So, yeah. I mean, you might stagger it this turn, in which case, you might be able to kill it. In order to do so, use your spears first and any attacks after. We'll see what happens. That's not first. That's third. It's not even second.
I used the other spear first. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, I know.
And then focus spirit, probably.
Yeah. Ooh, you did manage to kill it. Congratulations. Now he's got slightly less health than he would otherwise.
Thankfully.
And a scythe.
Super. What's that? What's that?
What's he do? What he do? He also doesn't take a lot of damage.
Ignores instances of damage that would deal 10 or less.
Yeah.
If the character took 80 or less damage within the scene, recover 10% of max HP at the end of the scene.
Yeah, it's pretty. I've had very very drawn out fights against this before. Because
Okay,
he does not take a lot of damage from attacks, and as noted, he has a tendency to ignore damage and heal. So he's very obnoxious.
And of course, slash damage, and that's all we use is slash damage.
No, it's not all you use.
Most of the time. See what the fuck we're doing.
I have no idea what imitation does. But you're gonna find out because you're gonna win those clashes. Maybe it makes it easier to hurt him.
Imitation? What?
It's the effect on the card. On clash, lose, gain imitation. Warning, only employees level 3 and higher are permitted to read this document. This recording is of a call from the containment unit's emergency phone. Phone systems are installed in every room of abnormalities of risk level he or higher to enable quick threat response. Employee 1, please pick up, please pick up. This is the containment unit of nothing there. The emergency response department, ERD. Hello, this is the emergency response team. What's the problem? I need a stun gun right now. There's an emergency happening right now. Can you please specify the reason? The abnormality. The sounds of something breaking can be heard. It's ripping up the employee. Excuse me? It's killing my colleague! We'll respond immediately. Please identify the employee being attacked. It's, wait one sec. Their name's redacted. Control team, I'm redacted. Also control team. Confirmed. What's currently happening to your colleague at this exact moment? Yeah, just please hurry. We need a weapon to control the abnormality. A loud noise can be heard, presumably the scream of the colleague. Oh god, this is... What's happening? The abnormality is attacking my colleague. It's literally ripping them apart. I can't do anything. I repeat, we need a weapon to control the abnormality. The emergency response team has been dispatched. They'll arrive shortly. Omitted. Redacted? What's happening now? Is it still attacking your colleague? Yeah, oh no, I think it's done now. Has it stopped attacking? No, I mean, my colleague's... he's dead. Yeah, he's dead alright. How can you be so sure? Well, it's because he looks... he's... Has he been ripped up somehow? What body parts are damaged? All of them. Excerpt from the counseling log. Just like how we observe abnormalities as employees... Wait, hold on. We just read that. Oh, never mind. We didn't just read that. Sheesh. Just like how we observe abnormalities as employees...
I gained some, right?
Yes, you regain some health. What does this imitation do, though? Affects the properties of certain combat pages, can stack up to 10 when imitation is lost at the end of each scene. Well, we'll find out, I suppose. Ooh, we got a big boy. So, you know what we do against big boys? We play Great Slash Vertical. Or horizontal, I guess. It doesn't particularly matter. Vertical is just a little cheaper.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, horizontal rolls bigger number, which I guess would mean bigger chance of outrolling him. I don't know the exact calculations on that front. His range is pretty big, so actually horizontal is the better choice. Just like how we observe abnormalities as employees, nothing there observes us. Then, it puts on the shell of an employee and thinks of itself as the employee that just died. It mimics the employee's...
Flash on this one, though, so I need to put it on a bigger one.
When Clash doesn't, it's a mass attack. Clash doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Okay, well.
Yeah.
Well.
I mean, if you really want, just in case the Great Slash horizontal fails, you could also play vertical and do a clash against it as like a sort of insurance. Doesn't.
I don't know.
It's like.
That,
And to be fair, your level slashes aren't doing any damage, but Great Split Vertical will roll big enough, probably, to actually do damage to him. Why that one?
I don't know. Oh yeah, I have to click.
Your decision making is confusing me a little.
What do you mean?
Why are you having Great Split Vertical clash against a page that's rolling 3 die?
Oh, wasn't thinking about that.
Yes. Nothing there observes us, then it puts on the shell of an employee and thinks of itself as the employee that just died. It mimics the employee's usual behavior, the way they talk, likes and dislikes, and every other visible trait. We can only guess how carefully and for how long it has been observing the employees to imitate them. What I'm trying to say is, we can't just treat it like some dumb, scary monster. Even now, it could be strolling about wearing the shell of someone we know. This abnormality is becoming more and more like a human. Its transformation is getting faster, too. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. If the time comes when we fail to recognize it, that will be the day the company falls. We must stay ever vigilant when dealing with this abnormality. The following is a record of the abnormal behavior an employee exhibited in their last moments after they became a shell of nothing there. Also of my headphones being unable to pick up on sound. Okay, I can hear again.
Okay.
Sheesh.
Sheesh.
Record of abnormal behavior an employee exhibited in the last moments after they became a shell of nothing there. Employee 1. Manager! Employee 2. Man, you've been looking for the manager for quite a while now. You've been acting really weird today, you know? With that weird smile and all. ... Anyhow, I sure hope we get pasta in the cafeteria for dinner today. I'd love some of that with thick bacon. ... Oh, we just got an emergency notice. It says that the last employee to work with nothing there should get to the counselor's office immediately. ... Wait, wasn't that you? ... Hey, say something. Manager! The second employee proceeded to take immediate action upon hearing that. However, nothing there tore out of its shell of the first employee, revealing its beginning form. The recording only includes audio files, so what exactly happened or what kind of behavior the employee exhibited still remains a mystery. The shell with nothing there inside tries its best to mimic the behavior of the employee it tried to kill moments ago. The actions of the last employee it eyed, their final words, those sorts of things. And the many shells cried out one word: manager.
Oof. Deep, bro. Onrush probably wouldn't even do that much damage. Now
It's fucking That's fucking one of the longest abnormality stories. I mean, I would say the most important thing to keep in mind is that you want to do an instance of damage over 10. Doesn't really matter what it is at that point, but so long as it's over 10.
I'm pretty sure this is over 10.
You're getting there. Couple more rounds. My boy loves using goodbye.
Apparently.
And it looks like you're not able to counter it this turn. You're just gonna have to soak the hit. You can use Focus Spirit to decrease it a little bit though, because defense die.
But I don't want to clash against it, right? Or should I?
No, it would be a clash. Well, yeah, it would be a clash. You're deliberately doing the clash to reduce the amount of damage you're gonna take, because you know you're gonna lose the clash, but defense die still reduce damage.
Got it. Oh, are there other good anime on the list that you and Dojin looked at?
You actually missed out on like 2 or 3 series that I was like, damn, you would probably like this. I of course don't remember the names of like any of them, but you left too early.
Bummer. Yeah, I got like 4 hours of sleep. I'm so tired.
I actually agreed with the decision that you just canceled. Yeah. In terms of what I've seen thus far, the Spice and Wolf remake is really good.
Oh. Okay.
And there's also the one I mentioned about the Elf Bride before, which is like, it's pleasant.
I heard that one with like the kids fighting. What that one kid like who's a delinquent and he's like fighting and shit is good.
Dude, that describes so many shows.
He's got like white and black hair. It was like one of the more anticipated ones on my anime list. We watched trailer and shit. Oh, I heard it was good. I heard the animation, the fighting sequence was good. I don't know.
Yeah, but the story is probably fucking mid as fuck.
고통은 늘 곁에 앉아 날 지켜주었으니 어떻게 고통을 원망하겠습니까?
소감이 어때, 케브라?
로보토미사에서의 나도 롤란 것 같았겠지.
아니, 난 늘 네가 미쳐 날뛰는 것을 질리도록 봤는데 조금 달라. 그리고 나와도 다르지.
아니, 저기 둘 다 말이야. 날 비웃고 싶은 거야?
그럴 리가. 괜찮아?
기분이 썩 후련하면서도 찝찝하네. 몸에는 문제가 없어.
그럼 됐어. 정신 좀 차리고 다시 일로 돌아가도록 해.
뭐 너무 신경 쓰지 마. 우리도 여러 못 볼 꼴을 보며 살았으니까.
아무리 그래도 쪽팔린 건 쪽팔린 거지.
Yeah, that is a bit awkward. And yeah, I would imagine.
하지만 그건 너무나도 예리한 검 같아서 제 칼에 스스로 베어 피를 흘리는지도 모를 때가 있을 거야. 그러니 칼을 제대로 쥐는 것이 중요해. 다음은 그 날카로운 칼날이 어디로 향할지겠지.
네 말대로 내 칼에 내 손이 베이지 않도록 조심해야겠어. 하지만 내 칼날이 향할 곳은 처음부터 정해져 있었지.
Ominous.
그건 그거고 이건 이거니까.
담배 한 대 피울래?
그래. 오늘 하루만은.
Shit. I was like, I think you deserve one for today.
But yeah,
Need
blind rage and fury will only wind up hurting yourself in the end. Just don't,
I mean, yeah.
don't.
Don't do it.
Don't do it, man.
Yeah. Because,
Have the
because then you
have the
also
courage
hurt
to
others.
protect. Yeah. Well, yes, you do hurt others.
And you hurt yourself, you know, and you never fully recover, or you're not fully recovering or healing from your trauma, because you
Yeah.
get anger. You get that violent anger from trauma, like Gerbera, like she had trauma, so she was like angry.
Yeah. So you're
frustrated.
right. It's also no way to deal with your issues.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually resolve them.
I think it's okay, and I think it is okay to feel anger. And like Gerbera said, you take that anger and you sharpen your blade. You know, it's okay to feel anger and like hone it and control it, but of course to use it to lash out and to like hold on to the anger forever, not a good thing, you know.
Yeah. And then
You
there's
have to
also
let it go at some point.
the metaphor that Bina said in the Lobotomy Corporation cutscenes, which almost sounds like the opposite of what Gerbera was saying, where she said that a blade recklessly pointed at everything is actually super dull, or something to that effect. And we actually see that echoed a little bit with Zhao. And it will be made explicit when we do the next fight. The beginning of that cutscene is going to talk about it. But she, in her blind, almost blind vendetta against the library, was actually weaker as a fighter than she is ordinarily. And that was the same case for Gerbera when she was blindly fighting the abnormalities. And you could say the same thing to an extent of Roland, where he's just where lashing out recklessly actually makes you an easier target.
Yeah, because you're not fully you're not. I feel like you're not
'Cause
on
you're
the
unfo-
defensive, you're not looking out for yourself. Yeah.
You're so tunnel visioned and focused on one thing, it leaves you open in every other direction.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, like I would say like in our family, it's like more acceptable to be angry than like upset, you know. And so like it does kind of take, you know, it does take a while, at least in my family, to kind of like learn to kind of like control that anger. You know what I mean? So yeah. Like
I'm
much
gonna-
more acceptable to like be mad than like be a crybaby.
I'm gonna deck you in the schnoz.
Well, not like that, but like my mom, but like our mom would be like, "Why are you crying? Don't be a crybaby. Like, suck it up. Like, don't let people see you cry. You know, kind of thing."
Suck it up, suck it up.
Yeah, it's much more acceptable to be like to be tough and like be mad about something than to cry about it. And I ended up being a big crybaby. I'm a huge crybaby. You yell at me one time and I'm like,
Suck it up, suck it up. Suck it up, suck it up, suck it up, yeah.
I'm just a big
Suck it
crybaby.
up, suck it up, suck it up.
You
Suck it up, suck it up, suck it up, suck it up, baby. I eat too much. I want too much.
And of course, like women are kind of taught like, well, like not the woman in my family, but like women and like other, you know, like I'd say most women are taught to be like, don't be angry, like control your anger, and like it's not acceptable for most women to kind of like be angry. So I kind of see like a woman in this game, like, you know, kind of like show her anger and like show kind of like that vindictive attitude. It is kind of cathartic in a way, you know. at least from a woman's standpoint. It's much more acceptable to be a passive woman than be an angry woman.
I'm gonna say it. That's a bit of a weird champ relatability. I know I may not be a woman, but like that I feel like that is a weird thing to relate to in terms of what the game is like saying textually. Like it's kind of it's pretty tangential, or not tangential, but like, oh my god, Ignatius, why are you taking screenshots? Oh my god, give me a second. Screenshots, delete.
He wanted to take pictures. Leave him alone.
Delete. In any case, with the way that things are presented in this series, which is very much a series which has absolutely nothing to say about gender stereotypes and gender dynamics.
It doesn't have to be about gender stereotypes and gender dynamics.
What I'm getting,
still to be relatable to women. You know what I mean? In some way.
What I'm getting at is that because this game in the series it presents all of its characters on completely neutral ground in that regard. It's a bit odd to take that to take something like that out of the game, like at all. It's like on one end I suppose I get it, or where the energy is coming from, but on the other end it's like, why would this of all things make you feel that way?
Well, because like a lot of women in society feel that way, and like especially like in Korean society, you hear a lot that, you know, that the men in Korean society, I mean, like I recently heard that there was a study that Korean women like aren't getting married. There's a decrease in like marriages and a decrease in birth rates, and they ask Korean women, like, why aren't you guys like getting married or having kids? And they're like, because we don't like men.
Well, yeah, the gender differential in South Korea is like massively fucked up. It's like one of the most fucked up patriarchies in the developed world.
Yeah, and they say like we don't like men. And a lot of the times, like in Korea, like men want a calm, silent, passive woman, right? And so you have a game where the developers are Korean, and you have a, you know, like a strong female character who does show her anger and is you know, she's able to like work through it, and it's not particularly seen as like nobody particularly judges her for it. I would say everybody kind of like sees why she's so angry, and everybody kind of comes at her with like a calm angle.
But that's,
you know what I mean?
But it's also precisely why it's weird to extrapolate out in that regard, because it's not like the game is saying anything to the effect of you should bottle your emotions up. In fact, it's saying the opposite for like literally everyone in the game. Like literally every character, it's like, no, let your emotions out.
Exactly.
In a healthy way.
Exactly. That's what it's saying, and that's why.
Because it's demonstrating that for like literally, I don't know. I get where the energy is coming from, but it just comes across as odd when it is avoiding any sort of meta-textual or when it does not, like, there is the aspect of, by not saying anything, it is technically saying something. But at the same time, because it isn't saying anything, it also feels odd to have that takeaway, to put any sort of emphasis on that takeaway. Especially when there's like much more.
Just because something isn't done on purpose doesn't mean it's not there at all. You know what I mean? Like, you know how like our English teachers were like, the color red is used in the story because the color red represents da 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 da. Like, are you one of those people that's just like, no, that's not it. Like, that doesn't exist. That's not why the like curtains are red, or that's not why it's raining in the book.
Yeah, I'm in between on that aspect. There can be deliberate choice in that manner, but there's little sense in extrapolating out meaning where there is none. Is my perspective. And I'm not gonna say that there isn't meaning in this regard. I just find it.
That's a very just like literal
mindset
and like a very like
Well, I am concerned with like what the media I'm consuming has to say, but I am concerned with that both from the literal text of the media and also from the context in which that media exists. It's just, in this case, it just does not come across as something of all that much significance when the entire series, or the entire game, which is quite lengthy up to this point, has demonstrated such little regard for the genders of its characters.
Yeah, and
that
like, there's no huge gender stereotypes. There could be a woman character who is showing her anger, and it's not seen as a bad thing.
I understand where that's coming from. Like I said, I'm not saying that that's not true. The reason I'm finding it odd, the reason why I say it's an odd thing to put any emphasis on, is due to the complete disregard of gender in the game. It's I find it odd to have an attachment to the gender of any particular character in the first place. Like, it would have made zero difference if the genders it would have sure, but it would have made zero difference if the genders of the patron librarians were inverted. And the main reason that the way that the genders are is actually a consequence of what they are adapted from, the Kabbalistic tree of life, because those have associated gender characteristics that I'm pretty sure are adapted into these into the genders of these characters.
Callie was born a girl, right? Callie calls herself a girl in the beginning of the story when she's talking about herself to Roland. Calls herself a girl.
What I am saying is that the relatability and the projection of self onto any given one of the characters in this game, it does not make a whole lot of sense to do so on the grounds of gender when there is zero meaning given to any particular character's gender. But I mean, what it literally, as I mentioned before, it is not as though what you are saying is not the case. There is definitely truth in extrapolating metatextual meaning about gender dynamics from the fact that there is no differentiation between genders in the game. It just, it just wouldn't be anything that I would say about it.
Okay, but the funny thing is that whenever I bring up these kind of topics with men, I hear the same kind of things, right? And a lot of times it's in Discord servers. Like when I get stories, or when other women bring stories into the conversation, and kind of talk about, oh, this is like a strong female lead because of blah, blah, blah. And you hear men all the time, well, you gotta bring gender into it. Gender's not important in this story. Blah, 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 blah. These are the same kind of sentiments.
Well, they're also wrong most of the time.
Across with most men, right?
They're also wrong most of the time.
It just seems like a misogynistic thing to say, in my opinion.
Well, it's a stupid.
Is misogyny like a bad thing? Like,
well, it's a stupid thing to say most of the time, because most of the time when there is a sort of strong female lead or a female character, there is something to be said about the gender dynamic presented in play. I just, when it comes to the Project Moon games, with my reading of them, there seems to be little to say about it beyond, well, look at the equality in the game. Why can't we have equality in real life, man? Come on.
yes, but we can still understand that there are people who are femme presenting and people who are masc presenting, and in society, people who are femme presenting are going to be treated a little differently. They're going to be treated with femme presenting stereotypes.
Well, let me bring it back to what I said before about the inversion of the gender in regards to patron librarians, and that there are recurring themes in the game that are presented across different characters, and those characters are of different genders. Like, for example, Angela and Roland are parallel characters who share a lot of the same thematic meaning, and they're of different genders. So, why would it make any more sense to attach to one over the other? Like, given your own personal identification in that regard, you may. I'm not going to say that it is invalid to attach to one over the other. I just find it to be of not much importance, or a little odd, because of the similarity or equality between the two.
I mean, hey, you could say with Roland, but a lot of times with men, when they feel like they can't protect their family, or they feel like they failed protecting their family, they have failed doing their job as a man, they feel emasculated, and they succumb to these type of actions if they are mentally unstable. There you go. You're welcome.
Like, it's not just Roland though. Like Zhao, it's the same case for Zhao. Zhao is a female, so when it comes to,
But Roland is a man.
what I'm saying is that when it comes to the relatability of any given thematic meaning within the game, the basis upon which that relatability is going to be founded, for me at least, is going to be those themes as opposed to a gendered relation to them. I'm not going to relate to specifically Roland in regards to this theme because he is also male. I'm going to, in fact, if anything, actually, I'm not going to say that. I was not going to say I relate more to Zhao because it's like the same. But I'm going to relate to both of them for the same reasons. But maybe that's just due to my perspective on gender-related issues to begin with.
I mean, yeah, I think everybody views gender on a different spectrum. Like, you could be more attached, or unattached to gender stereotypes, right? And or just like gender in general, like gender's a huge spectrum. And so you could just fall on that, like, you know, okay, like gender is just different or whatever. I don't know. But I see it as like female or like them presenting people, females. Their issues are just more important, and their issues I relate to more as of right now. Like femicides are huge in Latin America. Women do not have equal rights in America. Like, those are my issues right now. So I relate to those issues a lot more. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I'm gonna relate to a female character more.
Like
a male character.
The
so
other,
that's my bias.
the other way I'll put it is we take a look at Gamergate. Gamergate, really fucking stupid. It's a bunch of stupid, dumb idiots who say keep politics out of games, and in doing so, really just want their politics represented in games, and all media has is political in some way, shape, or form. Really stupid. Most of their vitriol was directed at a game critic, commentator, by the name of Anita Sarkeesian. And what she would do is effectively take a look at a variety of games and analyze them from a sort of feminist perspective. I cannot speak to how accurate or literal of a feminist perspective it was. I've not really watched her comments. I have not really watched or read her work, but this is my understanding of what she did. And while it's really stupid to get upset at her for doing such a thing, there is, I think, something to be said about taking old classic games in which it's very much not the point and extrapolating a feminist point out of them, especially when doing so can feel like a very tenuous argument to make. That's kind of what I'm saying here, is that you can make the extrapolation and the argument, but based on the text of the game, it's a little tenuous, and it's the reason why, and it's part of the reason why I was using the term metatextual, is because it's basically more so a commentary on the political context of the game rather than necessarily the game or the politics of the game. You're mainly talking about the context surrounding it more so than the thing itself.
And it's not fine. Like, what's the
I
big
mean,
deal?
yeah, it's fine. That's why I said it's fine to do it. It's just also why I'm also simultaneously saying it's a little odd. But that's mainly, I suppose, because what I'm directing my commentary at is the text of the game, as opposed to not nearly as much talking about the context surrounding it.
How I relate to things and how I understand things in my brain is I relate to what's going on in the game, in the book, to things that I've gone through, and that helps me put the pieces together and understand what's going on, or understand the story better.
That was fairly evident by your very frequent use of anecdotes in our conversations after particular cutscenes. you really use a lot of anecdotes.
Yeah, so that's how I figure things out in my brain. That's what helps me.
And because you do it that way, that makes you stupid. You're stupid. Okay, you suck.
No, you
What I love is that right now you can't actually respond to me saying that sarcastically because my headphones cut out for some reason again.
I said you can suck my dick.
Are you telling me you have a lady dick?
I sure do. Come over here so you can suck it.
Suck my. There's like a meme term for it that was probably
Yeah, I don't
popularized on
remember.
4chan.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called.
Girl cock. That's what it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
suck my girl cock.
Suck my girl cock, bitch.
All right, let's fucking move on. That was much of a digression.
I'm actually gonna go to bed because I gotta wake up in 4 hours, so I want to get some more sleep.
Well, I understand that, but like, let's conclude it a little bit as opposed to just stopping on this screen.
Okay, let's conclude it.
Yeah, we got some ego pages.
Oh yeah.
The abnormality pages, the level 3 abnormality pages on this floor are like really strong. One of them is just don't take stagger damage. Another one is heal HP, and the third one is double the power of the last die you play, which if you gamify can be like super duper strong. I usually choose Shell just because being staggered is really bad and it's a simple choice. And then you also get the ego pages. Not most of them not particularly good. Dipsia is the main one. It heals you. It's a big number and it heals you, so it's useful in that regard. Mimicry is like is basically great / vertical that any character can use. And then smile it has its uses. And then there's the synchronization one, which can also be useful. I almost never use Cobalt Scar.
What does that one do?
It's basically that one attack that rolled 5 times.
Oh yeah, gross. Okay, we got 4 more.
Yeah. So yeah, next time we're going to do the right side here. We're gonna finish off a column. It's the
So what is
easiest.
that one?
Oh, you're gonna find out.
I don't
The
get heads up. Okay.
The previous one in the column was Kane Office, but the next ones are well, they're related, of course, but not in the same fashion as it's Liu Association Section 2 into Section 1, or one finger to another finger who are actively at war with each other. It's sort of like it's actually, this one's a bit analogous in which it's like they're related, but it's not really the same.
Not directly.
Yeah, it's not like the same sort of set of opponents that But it is also the easiest, or the final of the column is the easiest of the 4. Or well,
Okay.
In addition to giving you a really, really good buff to being able to do the other ones, and just the game in general, really, really good.
Okay.
All right, that's it.
Okay, bye.